is amazing. Oh, it's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Fishies in a row. They're here to make a point and to do Eddie proud. They fan out in the background as they come down to turn 1 for the first time. It all looks pretty good, 2 by 2. We'll stop the camera here. Oh, Eddie would be proud, mate. That was awesome run around turn 1. But, oi! Contact with the fishies.
He's made it through. It doesn't look like Angus has made it, but Thomas Freeman's made it through, and Angus is going to suffer the crowd coming through there to be able to turn his car around.
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannon's insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride, whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride.
ride with Shannon's.
Call 134646 for a quote.
And they are off. It was a good start from Dylan de Bono. I think Phil Vella got a great start there in the background as well. You can see already cars going 5, 6 wide as they're trying to find any semblance of space. They come into T1. So far we've got 2, 3 wide as they snake down. It's Michael Conchar that's got around Dylan de Bono. A couple of cars going wide there. Was that a bit of contact in the back? Scott Pocock caught up in that, I think, there, buddy. But it's Michael Cullajar's got past, so Dylan...
Light is coming out and we're about to get going, and we have a green light and a very slow start for the 86s, but they are moving out there on the grid. It would be very interesting to see exactly which driver can capitalise on this first lap. Just go through the grid. Look like Jamie Christensen had a really awesome start to get ahead of Dylan de Bono, and Doug Gowage also jumped his teammate as well, so unfortunately Dylan stalled the car a little bit more than what he preferred. But
Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.
Still great classes of car, and if you are able to, if you're coming up the ranks on iRacing through the licenses, it's a fantastic sort of laneway into prototype driving, going from that GT3 up through the prototype classes. As the safety car pulls in, we get ready to go green as we come up towards the line. Edwards, Hasler, who's going to get the jump down to turn 1, or will any of the fishies, any of the piranhas in behind them, assault them down towards
green and they're
this
off.
first lap? Let's go here.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannon's.
We've also got Shannon's Home and Contents cover,
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
This is amazing. Oh, it's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble's bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanak and Jamie Dyson just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't committed, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's see if we get a good run. Dodd's just absolute thinker, but it is a really nice move. Like the way he had to move out of the way.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sim Racing World TV. I'm your commentator here tonight, Hamish Munro, joined alongside once again by Steven Sinkovic. Sinker, big night of racing, enduro around the Rebel Ring, one of my favourite circuits in the world. Round 2, Fiat Supercars Series, Tuesday nights. Can it get any better than this?
Not a favourite track of mine, mate. Not at all. It's okay, and I don't mind it in like small cars, but I haven't had much luck on it in the V8s, that's for sure. So yeah, not a fan of it. But you know what? That doesn't mean it's not going to be a spectacular night.
Well, I'm a massive fan of this track, based on the fact that it's a very simple-looking track, but it is deceivingly and sneakily quite technical in its own right. The amount of hard braking zones and passing opportunities around this circuit, even though it is only 10 corners and just over 4 kilometres long, is aplenty. Turn 1, turn 3, big danger zones, of course. You can cause many an accident as Dylan Gray spins it round in practice through turn 1. And it's just caused an absolute schmozzle at the pit exit. But yeah, it's a track that has plenty of overtaking opportunities, but plenty of crash opportunities as well, which gives us bigger opportunities for safety cars to happen and gives us a bit more of an opportunity to chin wag while the cars are going around at only 80 k's an hour.
Yeah, 100%. Look, we've got 25 cars on the grid at the moment. We are expecting more cars to join us later. We have a top 10 shootout tonight. So tonight's an enduro round, which means that we will be, once qualifying is done, we will be going to our next server for a top 10 shootout, and from there back to the race for a 60-minute turn and burn across this fantastic little track that you call fantastic, but I don't say much.
Well, maybe you'll fall in love with it tonight if we get some brilliant racing around this track. It's a real hidden gem in Europe. It's up there in my top 3 favourite tracks in Europe, and it's in my top 5 favourites in the world. It may not be a popular choice, but it's one that I've got and I'm sticking to it. But of course,
look, the short course with the 86s, love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, but it's got its good points, it's got its bad points. So it's going to be, either way, it's going to be fun for us to commentate on, because there's so many fast guys out there tonight that are very close in pace.
Well, of course, this track layout's been used ever since it returned to the Formula One calendar back in 2016. Prior to that, it was known as the A1 Ring, and it went through the forests of Spielberg here in Styria, Austria. Basically, you just go straight ahead at turn 1, and eventually you find yourself up at the top of the hill at turn 3. But it's a fast-paced circuit. A lot of people call it the bottle opener by its track shape, but the trick tonight is dealing with those curb strikes that you can get around here, Sinker, and dealing with the slowdowns as well. Now, I do know through practice last week leading up to the vets round here, you can get a curb strike between turn 9 and turn 10, and you can actually serve the slowdown all the way up to the braking zone of turn 3. So if the drivers know about that, that's a little sneaky play they can do where, you know, obviously you can't sit on the racing line and commit to your slowdown, but you can do it as you progress up towards turn 3, and you're not really going to hold anyone up by doing that. So, but it's a nice fast circuit. Should be looking for times around about the 129s, 1 minute 30s at our top end of town, and then maybe trickling on down towards the 32s and the 33s towards the bottom end of the ladder. But big night of racing, as we mentioned. Big shootout to come here tonight, as well as our enduro race, first of 2 this season. So we're getting it out of the way early here for our first one, Sinker. Where are we going for our second one later in the season?
Oh, I can't remember, to be honest. I did look at it earlier.
You should be the one that does remember, though.
No, I don't, mate. I don't. I got that much data flying around my small pea brain.
It's Watkins. It's Watkins Glen that we go.
Yes, it is Watkins Glen. It's a full Watkins as well.
Yeah.
So that should be pretty cool. The you know what? This is going to be a great top 10 shootout on this track. That's one thing it's going to be really, really good for. It's going to be a quick top 10 shootout.
It's going to be... this track suits the shootout better than Sebring did, being that it's only 1 minute 30 around the lap. But it's going to be a fast-paced lap, as you mentioned, Sinker. When you can pull a lap together around here, you feel on top of the world. Like, it is a circuit that rewards that cleanliness, but also pushing the limits, pushing the track limits, pushing the grip limits. As I mentioned, very easy to get a curb strike around here, so that could really catch a couple of people out when going into that shootout. But as I mentioned, about 25 or so drivers in the session at the moment, so we're going to be getting ready to go racing. But practice is finishing up. We're going to get into qualifying, and then we're going to get into the shootout in 15 minutes' time. So it's going to be a big night, starting an hour earlier, of course, so everyone can get to bed a little bit earlier, especially our Kiwi friends. Instead of finishing at 1 a.m., they can finish at 12 a.m. tonight. But no, it's going to be a good night nonetheless.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fantastic. This is going to be a great top 10 shootout, and it's going to be tricky because the off tracks are going to be the keys. These are the things that people are going to have to watch and not get over happy, especially in coming into the last corner, taking that pace down that hill with a hard right, trying to get that curb strike on the inside right, and not going out too wide. That's going to be one of the key points as well.
So a couple of drivers in the session tonight that we didn't see last Tuesday, including Dylan Gray, Robert Crow, as well as I believe Matty Parker's in the session for the first time this season as well as Chris Burridge from M1 Racing. So a couple of old / new faces / returning faces into the series, but also our regulars that we saw last week, namely Crosby Kennedy, Rick Viger, Peter Vanderkran's out there as well as others too. So it'll be interesting to see how they all go here tonight in enduro format. And if Dylan Gray can bring a challenge to these top running boys from M1.
It's going to be, this is going to be tough. We saw the pace on Sunday night. The difference on Sunday night from the 15th driver to the top was like, 1 second, which was ridiculously fast. I'm predicting it's going to be even tighter tonight. Top 15 are going to be less than a second in gap. These boys are a little bit closer rated.
You see Dylan Gray starting his first attempt at a lap now in the number 52 Mustang, making his debut into the series. Has he previously been in the Tuesday series prior to last season, Sinker, or is this his first running in SRW?
No, Dylan has been in SRW before. He had a vacation for 12 months.
Oh, fair enough. Good to have him back nonetheless.
Yeah.
I know that he's previously done the likes of East Coast and other Supercars series as well. Good to see him back out on the SRW field and bringing this Mustang to life out on track as well.
Kennedy's already hitting purples. He's already starting to push the rest of the guys out there, which is good to see. Chris Burridge, teammate, is right behind him on track, so this is a key part. Coming down the hill is also a very important part to get right, because you want to set yourself up for this right-hander here so you get the pace down that back straight.
Yeah, this track is one that rewards, obviously we've spoken about a lot, the exits of corners and maximising your exits. This is a circuit that really benefits you because it is a short lap. As I mentioned, only 4.3 Ks. It's a minute 30 around the lap, so it's important to maximise those so you don't lose too much time.
Is that actually calculated as 2 corners there, that big left-hander, or is it 1?
That's 2. It's turn 6 and turn 7.
Yeah. So this is the key bit here. This is where they've got to watch their run-off, where Dylan just come across. That section there is the tough bit.
Not just there, but even through 9 and 10 as well. You can run it very wide and cop that slowdown, as I mentioned, which you want to attempt to not do as much as possible.
Barrage, the early times. Oh, it disappeared on me.
Yeah, I'm fixing it now.
Oh, cool. I was like, oh, already?
Yeah, I noticed it had a hissy fit, but I'm fixing it now, so it's okay.
Barrage set the early time at 1:32.04, but if you have a look at the top 4 against 5, there's a couple of tenths. It's crazy. So Dylan Gray on my car is in his old livery. No, on screen is the correct livery, which is good to see. Yeah, he's driving for SLM these days, so he's joined the same team as Caleb Ballack.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, that's just of recent days. He was a privateer up until this week, so he's come back to be a good boy and have some fun, and now he's racing for SLM.
See if you can do any better here. after having a 12-month holiday from SRW. And if he can keep it nice and clean, brings it in though after his first flying laps, probably want to get some fresh tyres into the car and some fresh fuel as well. But Burridge leads the way at the moment in qualifying. Our current members for the... What was that, sorry?
He's just bet. Sorry, I just talked over you then. He just bettered his time in Barrage.
Okay.
So he's down a couple of tenths. And his teammate was on a good lap, but I think his last sector went downhill. I'm expecting big things from Cowan tonight.
Yeah, I expect him to go some better here tonight, and just try and, you know, keep the pace going that he had over the weekend. Obviously Sunday night, a podium, and then also the 2 wins in the Pro-Am class. So he's got a bit of momentum about him at the moment. So interesting to see how he does. Same with Andrew Rushworth and Brett Taylor as well. See how they both do here tonight. We know Brett's had some up and down running so far. We're waiting for him to put a whole season together in that VMME sports machine, but we know he's capable. It's just whether he can put it together and become that 100% run throughout a season as well is what's going to help him out throughout the course.
He finished last week. I can't remember.
Oh, I cannot remember either. It mustn't have been anything Oh, no, I believe he actually got a podium last week and he didn't come and chat to us.
I think he finished 3rd or something, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he got a podium last week, but he didn't come and chat to us.
Yeah. He was probably a bit down on himself because it wasn't high enough on the podium, maybe for a change.
Yeah, maybe he's decided he's only coming to see us if he gets a win. Maybe that's what it is.
He only wants the one and that's it. Oh, well, you know, that's all good, mate. That's fine. What I was going to say was some of the new liveries are looking good. Some of the things are just adjusted a little bit. So they're looking snappy anyway. It's good to see. Oh, that's one of your boys just there on screen.
Yeah, it's Mr. Robert Crow, puts it into the top 10. Had a good running in Vets on Thursday. Finished P6 on the road after the car ahead of him ran out of fuel on the line. So he's able to keep that momentum up at this track here in his first running in SRW this season.
Halfway through the 15-minute qualifying, the boys need to get up there and get some cracking times to get themselves in the top 10 shootout. So far, it's Chris Burridge, Dylan Gray, Steve Kennedy, Matty Parker, Darren Crosby, Jamie Davis, Rick Vicker, Robert Crow, Travis Daly, Andrew Cowan. And on the outside, with 1/10 behind Andrew Cameron, is Andrew Rushworth and Billy Mole. Not a lot there at all. There's like 3/10 in the 15th to 10th spot. So it's going to be a very tight battle in this last few minutes.
John Gallen's found some pace in the first sector, but I believe this might be his outlap. But he's also gone purple in the second. Where has the PER car found the pace here in the 350 Commodore? He's found it out of absolute nowhere. Had a bit of a heartbreak at Red Bull on Thursday. Actually blew the engine down at turn 4 and ended up in the sandpit and wasn't able to continue. But he's open for a better night tonight in enduro action and possibly try and make the shootout, as we have no amateurs in the top 10 at this stage. Crosses the line. Is it a proper time? No, that was his out. Oh, no, it was a proper time. He goes P4 with a 1:30.41.
Nice.
So he's only 3/10 off the pole, 2.25 of a tenth off the time of Burridge, but Gray goes even better, puts it on pole. But it is looking like we are at least going to have one amateur in the top 10, because I don't think I can see the 6 drivers behind him beating his time and putting him out of the 10. I think that's a top 10 worthy time at the moment.
Yeah. Looking good, looking very good. Fitzpatrick is sitting there. Oh, he's only 1/1000th off Cowie, and these last 3 guys are going to be going hell for leather.
Yeah, they're going to have to get bad on track. They've got to get the car warmed up, get the tyres warmed up, try and make that shootout if they can. Of course, 9 minutes into the session, only 6 minutes left. There won't be a cut-off on qualifying. They will be able to finish their last laps after the 15 minutes is up. But they need to try and get the car out there and just circulate so they can, get a bit of fuel out of the car, although they do have open setups, obviously, so they can run the low fuel, but also maximize on the tires. They've got to take a couple laps to warm up and get into their groove. So you need to at least have 2 laps of fuel in your car prior to going for a fast lap. So that's what they're going to try and balance here. It's a real balancing act, this, trying to get into the shootout.
It is. It's getting that fine edge. making sure you're hitting the apexes and not getting those off tracks. They're the key ones. Still, Burridge is still leading the way out there. Crosby and Kennedy, his teammates, letting him go at the moment. They're sitting in the pits. Crosby's coming out now with, what have we got left? Just over 5 minutes left. So the boys will get a couple of laps in there. The guys on the edge that are fighting for position would be down from Matty Parker onwards, so 7th position onwards. Oh, look at that. Matty Parker and John Gullen are 6 1/1000ths of a second apart. Christ almighty.
Good old Trading Paints is giving me people's wrong liveries on their cars. This is actually Jamie Davis, but it's put Crosby's livery on his car. I don't know why,
really?
but I'm just going to clean up people's paints, and that should fix it. That's interesting that it's done that for me. But Kennedy's out there, though, P4 at the moment. As we mentioned, Burridge leads the way in qualifying at this stage. Gray P2, Crosby P3, Kennedy P4, Viger makes up the 5. Then it's John Gallen, who is the top-seeded amateur at the moment, P6 on the road. Then Matty Parker, who had a little bit of heartbreak here on Thursday. He was leading the race and then dropped out due to internet issues.
Yeah. Jamie's got himself up to 7th position, a little bit safer. See how else the boys are going now. We have got officially 4 minutes left in the qualifying to get these boys in the top 10. On the cusp, we've got Cowan, Black Fitzpatrick, Andrew Rushworth, and Season 1 champion and champion Stephen Martin. And they're all within 1/10 of each other. So that is a massive, massive lot of cars that are just sitting within 1/10.
Well, Daly's now found himself in the 10. He's actually dropped Robert Crow out of the shootout, but he's not out on track at the moment to try and set another lap. We'll see if he returns onto the circuit to have a final run at that top 10 to have a go at the shootout here tonight. Rushworth puts it in P12. He gets past Cowie at this stage. A whole heap of different names out there and a little bit of a spread. Vanderkreen yet to get out on track and set a lap. Stephanie Bacoli is out there. We need to fix her car as well. I don't know why we're having these issues with Trading Paints, but we'll hopefully get this fixed very, very shortly.
Yeah. It's good at my end. Looking good at my end, but that doesn't help.
Yeah, unfortunately, Singer, it's my end that matters at this point.
Yeah. All good, mate. It's all good.
No.
It's bring back. It's trading. The old SDK is a funny thing that it does these days. But the boys look good. Stephanie's looking really sharp. It's good to see her out in the V8. I hope she can back it up and have some good runs. She took her first podium the other night in the 86s.
Yeah, I saw that round at Long Beach. I reckon the street circuits are her should be her go-to from now on. She'll be praying that you only run a combination of Long Beach, Belle Isle, and Chicago going forward in the 8.6s as she tries to let Crosby pass, but he gives her absolutely no room at all.
That wasn't Crosby. That was.
That was. Or was that
Gray.
Davis?
Dylan Gray.
Oh, it must have been Gray. I see. It's
Gray.
screwing over everybody's paints at the moment. I think I actually know what the problem is as well. It's the window banners. I think I'm just going to have to delete them and then redo it.
Not sure about that that move there, that bit of racing to that corner there by Dylan. Yeah, could have left her a little bit more room the way he tried to cut across to get his line in there, especially if they're both on a hot lap.
Yeah, not really leaving too much to desire in terms of having it be fair between them. I'm just going to have to redo the banners. That's going to fix it though.
Now he's going to be super pumped for tonight. I know that he's been practicing because he was having a bit of a chin wag about his about the temperatures and the fuel levels and stuff like that in the test sessions. So he'd be right on top of what's going on with fuel and everything like that, and usage and tyres and everything. Because tonight we've also got a one tyre selection as well.
Yeah, that's right. Limited tyre selection to just one. Of course, race control should be getting over the radio and reminding people that shouldn't they sinker before the race commences, just so then everyone's on the same page.
The usually do. They did do a big shout out on Tuesday night after the race and on Sunday after the race as well. So the guys should be more than aware. It was also in the race notes as well for the drivers. So we are down to the last few seconds of the top 10 as we can see them right now. It's Burridge, Gray, Crosby, Gallen, Kennedy, Vic, Liger, Davis, Parker, Mole, Daly, and Daly. Then we've got a couple of drivers just out of there. Cowan's missing out unless he can make this one count. He's got himself a good draft behind Dylan Gray. He's got a bit of pace, so maybe he could make this one work for himself. So viewers, tonight we'll be switching from one server to another server, so please don't leave us alone and go away. We'll remain here chinwagging and chatting through it so that you're not bored. We'll give you something to laugh at and something to have a giggle at. How's Cowan doing? Is he going to be able to make the cut-off?
He should be able to make it. He's it'll allow him enough time to do the one lap after the 15 minutes. But we will see if he can cross the line. Hopefully he can. Hopefully he can keep it clean and... Oh, no, he's given up on the lap. He must have copped a curb strike.
Yeah, must have. Is there anyone else left that can make it across?
Well, Fitzpatrick could as long as the time is fast enough. He is on 2 green sectors.
Let's see how we go. Oh,
So
that looked like he was...
oh, that could be a curb strike. That could be all over for him. That's another one. I think that's all over.
Yeah, I don't think that made it through. I think he's... that second last corner got him at the top of the hill.
Yep.
Coming down.
So I think our 10 is pretty much set. Other than maybe Stephen Martin, but he can't even improve enough to get inside the 10. Clutterbuck pulls it up as well. So it looks like the top 10 is all set. And we're going to be ready to go.
Not as exciting as normal, but the times are very, very minimal in the gaps. I mean, there's bugger all in it, really. There's best lap. What do we got? Travis Daly. Crows missed out by not even 1,000, 2 1,000ths of a second from the top 10 by Travis Daly, and then 3/10 is Andrew Rushworth. So there's not much in it to a 3/10 for all the way down till about 15th. There's 3/10 in it, so it's very, very close as we expected it.
So just waiting now to bring up our qualifying results as we can now. So this will now show us who will compete inside the shootout. It'll be Burridge, Gray, Crosby, Gallen, Kennedy, Viger, Davis, Parker, Mole, Daly. That's the 10. That's who will now compete in the top 10 shootout. One amateur in there, and John Gallen for Pacific Esports Racing. Just missing out, as we mentioned, was Robert Crowe of Simrig's Infinity Motorsport, Andrew Rushworth of Apex Esports League, and Andrew Cowan of Performance Sim Racing. Fitzpatrick in behind them, as well as Hanson, Vandermeul, and Weston Martin. Clutterbuck make up the top 18. As we then move down to Pavlovic, Taylor, Noble, Healy, King, Anderson, Vanderkran, and Stephanie Piccoli. Vanderkran and Stephanie Piccoli unable to set a time in qualifying, Sinker, so they were not able to get it done. They'll start towards the rear of the grid, and we will now move over to our shootout server.
We will be moving out to the shootout server. I'm just looking to see if race control's in there, and I can't see any race control in there.
Everyone's grinning up.
Yeah. Well, they've got a play session going on.
I suppose they'll probably be having a bit of a play whilst everyone else is having the shootout, I guess. We have Brad Hayes in the chat saying, good luck all Team Apex and Team Pacific Esports Racing tonight, and giving the love for Steph. Fortunately, she was unable to set a time in the qualifying, but hopefully she can have a clean running throughout the race here tonight. Just try and make up some spots. It's really going to be a race of attrition here tonight, just trying to keep it as clean as possible and just trying to stay ready. Dylan Gray saying, I'm ready for the shootout. Well, hopefully, Dylan, you can go one better and head it up onto the pole position here in qualifying. You will be the second last driver on track. But we'll wait and see how you go out there tonight and see if you can get past Chris Burridge, who set the pace early, and hopefully at least keep it on the front row of the grid. You are ready because you're the first person in the server. I see Matty Parker, Daly, and Mole also joining as well. But once we got all that set up, we can then check out the shootout sinker, and we can hopefully have a bit of a chat with some of the drivers after their laps and see how they felt out there.
Yeah, 100%. The boys are switching across to the other server now as we speak, which is good. I don't see a race patrol in there at this point, so I'm not sure where the boys are at. It's supposed to be Tyson and Freo in there, but we'll see what the go is.
Well, you might have to get over the radio and just tell people, maybe, Sinker. You might have to do the job.
I might have to do the job.
Mm.
What does that sound? Me doing race control. Ooh.
Oh, double duty.
Double duty.
Yeah, a bit of a double bubble.
Double jeopardy.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, God almighty. What is the order that they got into? That would be even better to know. That's the order on top that I'm seeing.
So I believe it should be Travis Daly out on track first.
The boys are there.
But they have their little practice session beforehand, so they can cut some laps
for a few seconds and let the boys know. 1 second.
So, of course, ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think about the track, what you think about the track car combination of the supercars around Red Bull Ring. I think it's a great circuit. It can lead to a lot of chaos, this circuit can. It's one of those tracks that, again, it is deceivingly technical. Turn 1's going to be one we're going to have to keep an eye on here tonight during the race. It is one that Turn 1, Lap 1 can always cause chaos if we're not careful. Turn 3 is the same. It's a tightening corner. You can fit 2 cars through there, but normally it's a one-line corner. So drivers are going to have to be incredibly careful under brakes up into Turn 3 and just trying to pull the car up as best as possible. Turn 4, of course, it is it's one of those corners that you come over the crest, and as you come into the downhill, that's where the braking section is. That's where the braking zone is. So you got to be careful of being able to pull the car up, not going through the gears too quickly because it can cause your engine to blow, as what happened to John Gallen in Vets on Thursday night. And the fast run round Turn 5 in through 6 and 7, the double lefts little section there of the bottle opener in the middle of the circuit. It's a difficult section. It's namely Scott Gamble's favourite section of this circuit. About 4th gear through there. Sometimes you can run 3rd. And then up through Turn 8, a fast-paced corner, cutting in on the curvature on the right-hand side and then going as far out wide as you can on the curb on exit. Fast run through into Turn 9. Very, very difficult corner. Very, very easy to run it wide, get a curb strike, and cop that slowdown, as I mentioned. Then through 10, another difficult corner. You turn in as the track kind of dips into the corner. As we're getting some cars out on track for the first time here in practice, so we can give you a bird's eye look at this track for the first time here tonight. Travis Daly, he will have the first opportunity in the shootout here tonight. We're still in our practice session at the moment. Matty Parker's also gone out there. We'll get on board with him. We know he can do a fast lap on this track. So as you can see here, turn 3, it is such an undulating corner. You're coming up to the hill, then dips in a little bit, and then rises as you come through the apex as well. Parker's actually pulled it up there, but Daly's still going around, so we can hop on board with Mr. Travis Daly. He is going nice and slow. So you can see here, up into Turn 6, you want to try and get the car as far out wide as possible, braking at the 50-meter board, and then running it through in 4th gear. Want to try and hug this curb. He's doing a perfect job here for my track walk, actually. We then want to try and run it out as wide as possible onto the AstroTurf, braking as you hit the driveway on the left, and then cutting in as tight as possible through this corner. This is the next part here I mentioned. As far right as possible on the curb. You want to try and go as far left on exit onto the curb. He's keeping it kind of nice and tight for us here because he is not on a fast lap at the moment. And then we can see Turn 9. Very, very fast-paced, very difficult corner. It's going to be imperative that the drivers are letting each other know tonight when they're coming into the pits, because you're coming into the pits on the racing line as you're entering into Turn 9. So it's going to be important that the drivers are very vocal. They let each other know when they are coming in to not cause an accident out on this circuit as well. Couple of chats out there. Cowie in the chat saying, off track on my best lap. But even then, I would have to put off a belter to make the top, to pull out a belter to make the top 10. Brad A saying, I think it's a great circuit. Love the flow and mix and match of low, tight speed corners and then some medium to faster corners throughout. It's a great circuit. I don't know what Sinker's on about by not liking this track. It's fantastic, this circuit. Gary was saying very technical. Yeah, it on paper, it looks super simple in its base form. Obviously, only 10 corners, 4.3 Ks, but it is super technical in those corners. They're tightening, they're undulating, the certain sections of track just really, it pays dividends here to know how to run this circuit in a supercar, because the more history you have around here in this car, the better you are going to do. It's so difficult, and it's one of my favorites. All out. It's an incredible track, and it's one that if you don't own it, you probably should own it, because it is phenomenal. It's phenomenal, no matter what you drive here, in my opinion. So looking forward to see what the supercars can do tonight, though. But Sinkovic is still over in the briefing room, letting the drivers know how the top 10 shootout's going to work, who's going to end up on track at each point in time. Of course, Travis Daly will be our first driver on circuit. He finished in 10th in the qualifying session, so he'll have the first crack at the shootout here tonight. So we'll wait for him to get out there and have a crack at this shootout. But we've got about 5 minutes until qualifying, as I don't think Sinker has the ability to actually push through the session. I don't think he's actually able to do that. John Gallen's coming out on track, though, so we can keep an eye on him and how he does here throughout this little lap in practice. Just wants to get the car warmed up, get it nice and ready to go. So fast pace up into turn 3, as I mentioned. You can go out left onto the AstroTurf. Any further will get you an off track, get a curb strike, and then trying to turn in right on that apex, nice and tight. Maximizing the run of this corner is going to give you a massive advantage down towards turn 4 at the end of this little broken straight. Very, very fast pace, one of the fastest sections on the track. But as I mentioned, as you come into the braking zone, that's then the changeover to the downhill. So very imperative that you try and get your braking right, get your bias right, get your setup right, so you can pull the car up through the fast pace right-hander there down at turn 4. Now through 5 and into 6, as I mentioned, trying to get it out as wide as possible and then cutting in as tight as possible on the inside at turn 6. Then wanting to try and run it straight out wide onto the AstroTurf as John does, braking at the driveway and then across to the left for this next curve. Prediction Gallen to start from P4. Well, he got P4 in the regular, or he got P6 in the regular qualifying. He could do this if he can keep it off the curb strikes. Down into 9. Watch this. Nice wide. Cuts it in nice and tight. Don't want to push it too hard, because any wider than this, you're going to get an off track. And then cutting it in into the inside of that corner as well. That's a nice run through the final corner. That is how you run a lap around here. It is so technical, but if you get the rhythm, you get the flow right about this track, it's going to pay you dividends, and it's going to pay you a bonus at the end of the day to get this right as best as you can as Gallen continues on. Yeah, I think John, I mean, it's questionable to put John in the amateur class this early on. I think he actually may get put in Pro-Am, to be honest with you, after the first 3 rounds, if he can have a strong run here tonight and next week. But that's what's going to be imperative about, is if he can keep this strong run going and if he can continue on, with such fast pace. Obviously, he's had the race practice this past week around this track, so that'll pay him dividends as well. Even though he didn't get to do the whole race because of the engine blow, he has had a week's practice around here prior to tonight's race, so it is going to help him out. But, yeah, I mean, it's a good-looking car as well, the PER car. One of my favourites to see out there on track. And, boy, look at that. Nice smiley face on the front of it. So, a couple of minutes, about a minute and a half left to practice. We're then going to get into the shootout. So, as I mentioned, Daly's going to head out there first. He's going to give us a nice look at this track from a qualifying perspective as Sinker now comes back in. You're ready to go, Sinker, for the shootout.
Because I can't advance it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I did say that, because you're not an admin of the league.
On the league, but so what's going to happen is, Hamish, once you pull the guy out of the green room, I'll get the next driver on track. So you will need to grab Travis Daly and drag him into the green room. Once he's in the green room, I'll get the next driver on his warm-up. All right, because it's a short track, it shouldn't be a big difference.
All right, so we'll pull Mr. Daly into the green room because he's going to have the first opportunity. Have we got the order, Sinker? Do we know exactly which order they have to go out in?
Travis Daly is first, second will be Billy Mole, and we'll keep going them in the order. They know their order.
All right, very good.
All right, so I will catch you guys later.
No worries, Sinker. Let's look forward to this shootout, ladies and gentlemen, and get ready for some fast-paced action around this circuit. This will hopefully not be such a long shootout because it is such a short lap. Brad Age saying, I think he has the skill level. He had a cheeky practice race in our league last night. Well, I mean, he had a practice race on Thursday as well in the Vets, so he definitely could be Pro-Am out there. We'll just have to wait and see how he goes out on circuit as well. But qualifying's about to get started, and let's see how everyone does. Of course, as I mentioned, Daly going to be the first out on track here in the top 10 shootout. Let's check out how he goes in the 777 MSR machine. Sinker's going to send him out on track, and we're going to get ready to go racing here tonight as Daly gets ready to go around the Red Bull ring. So Travis Daly enters the circuit. The first Gladiator have a crack. I just realised we had no car sounds. Now we do. Very, very good. Midline Sim Racing. Not Fitzy in the chat saying, let's go, Gal. Well, we'll see how he does as the only amateur in the top 10 shootout here tonight. Travis Daly, as I mentioned, the first driver on circuit to have a crack. All he really needs to do is just try and get a clean lap together. As I mentioned, it's a race of attrition. It's one of just trying to keep it as clean as possible throughout proceedings in tonight's race. It's a long race, and it's a track that can cause safety cars, cause incidents, and that is going to be the imperative factor here tonight for these drivers. But Daly's going to have the first crack in the MSR car. Let's get ready for him to have a run here in the 777 Mustang. So through 6 and 7. Pressure is high for Travis Daly. As I mentioned, first driver to have a crack here tonight in the top 10 shootout. Let's hope that he can hold it together here in qualifying. Round through the final run. Needs to be careful not to get an off track through this section. Wants to try and keep it clean all the way to the line to start this lap. Let's go, Travis Daly. First attempt at the shootout for Season 2 as he comes down the main straight. As I mentioned, fast straight up into Turn 1. Third gear corner up here, hard on the brakes as he comes in to the first corner for the first time on a fast lap here. Needs to be careful of the sausage curb on exit. Does well, though, to hold it together here through the running. Up in towards Turn 3. Going to be a nice fast run for him here into the hard braking zone of Turn 3 onto the AstroTurf. Keeps it nice and tight through the corner, hopefully. Does do. And manages to not run it wide on exit. Great first sector there from Daly with a 21.72. Let's see if he can hold it together, though, for the rest of this lap. Up into 4 now. Nice and easy does it, Travis, through the braking zone. Makes it through nicely. Just trying to keep it as tight as possible across all these apexes. Turn 6. Very, very difficult corner, this one. Car wants to spin it out wide, but you got to keep it as tight as possible as he then comes through 7. Very similar portion of a corner, but you at least get the runoff into Turn 8. Going to try and run it as wide as possible. Does it as he comes up towards Turn 9 and towards the end of his lap. Needs to be careful of the curb strike here. Cannot run it out too wide on exit of 9. Oh, does well. Could that be a clean lap for him through 10? Needs to be careful on exit. That might be an off track. That might not be enough for him, but we'll wait and see when he crosses the line if the time is going to be counted here in qualifying. It does, and it's a 1 minute 30.98 from Travis Daly. A respectable time from the MSR driver that's dragged him in. Mr. Daly, first attempt there at the shootout here tonight for us for Season 2. How'd the lap feel for you in the Mustang?
How you guys going? Yeah, not the best. Red Bull is one of the tracks where I'm not the least confident at. Yeah, setup wasn't my choice. I just kind of wanted to get a clean lap in and hope for the best, really.
How are you feeling for the race, mate? Obviously a long race, deceivingly technical track. You're just going to be trying to stay out of the wars tonight or just try and push forward a little bit?
Yeah, pretty much just stay in the wars. Like I said, I'm not terribly confident with this track, so yeah, it's just going to be play the game, look out the tyres, fuel strategy, and see where it goes, where I end up.
Very good, mate. Well, hopefully you don't end up back in P10, but hopefully this time can stand well enough for you. Best of luck in the race here tonight.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, mate. Well, Billy Mole will now be the next driver to have a crack of a fast lap around this circuit. He's coming into the middle section of the track to get ready for his lap here tonight around the Red Bull Ring. Remember, 1 minute 30.98 is the time to beat for Mr. Mole. We know he's got the pace in him in the Fanatec Commodore. It's whether he can hold it together here tonight and keep himself from cracking under pressure. He's not a stranger to the shootout. He was in the shootout at Sebring. He wants to do it again here tonight, and he's now going to be able to get the opportunity to have a run around Red Bull in shootout conditions. So he come up towards the line. He's going to start his lap, and we're going to go all over again for Billy Mole. Up towards turn 1. Needs to be careful to run through. Nicely done there from Billy. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle though on exit as he caught the curb. Needs to be nice and smooth, Billy. Nice and smooth around this track. Remember, maximising exits is what is imperative, especially in qualifying. 21.8 was the first sector, so slightly down on Daly's time as he comes up through turn 3. Mick Clift in the chat saying, go hard, John. Well, John is in the shootout. He'll have an opportunity soon enough. Billy Mole now up towards turn 4. Under shootout conditions. Needs to try and keep the lap as clean as possible as he comes through. It's a tightening corner again. It's one of those corners that can shoot you out wide, and that might hurt him. Running it out onto the curb. Just trying to keep it as consistent as possible as he comes into the entry at Sector 2 here on this circuit. It was a 40.5. Daly's was a 39.5 through Sector 2, so he's slightly down on the time at the moment, about a second off. So I don't know if Billy's going to be able to challenge here for Daly's time at the moment, but will he at least keep it in the 1 minute 30s through the final couple of corners now? Needs to be careful of the wide run. And through the final corner, Billy Mole comes. He should cross the line, but I don't think this is going to be good enough to beat Travis Daly's time. He goes fastest in the last sector. It's a 1:31.87. Unfortunately for him, that is not good enough to beat Travis Daly. Billy Mole, what a lap time, man, but that was a wild run, and unfortunately for you, just a bit off the pace of Travis.
Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes that lap, but I mean, it's not too bad. I only just squeezed in top 10 anyway, so happy to be here anyway.
Well, I guess, mate, the opportunity to start in the 10 around this track, well, it could pay you dividends. If you're starting towards the back, we know incidents can happen around here, so hopefully it can help you out at least, and who knows, maybe someone makes a mistake in qualifying, gets a curb strike, and you may not be at the back of the 10 anyway. But I mean, I said to Travis, this race is a little bit of a race of attrition. Just be hoping to try and keep it clean, wouldn't you?
Yeah, they're so easy to get off tracks too, so you're gonna build. You have to keep them down so you don't get any penalties. And yeah, I mean, anyone's gonna dive into that third corner at the hairpin, so just gotta be watch your back.
Well, mate, hopefully you can keep all 4 wheels on track tonight, keep it nice and clean, and who knows, maybe you can get yourself a cheeky top 5 or even a podium if luck goes your way.
Yeah, I'll be looking for one.
No worries, mate. Best of luck tonight.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you. Mr. Mole there, unfortunately unable to beat the time of Travis Daly, but the next driver who will have an opportunity to, and one that I think will definitely be able to put a challenge in, is Nova Sim Sports' Matty Parker. Currently in the top 5 of the championship for Split 2 of the V8 Veterans when you take off 1 drop round. He's got the pace. He's a former Split 1 driver over in that land. They'll be trying to keep the pace going here in the Nova Sim Sports 199 Commodore around this track. Sporting still his Anzac delivery with the less we forget on the side of it. Hopefully he can keep it nice and clean here through the run into the shootout. Comes up towards the final couple of corners. We'll see here if he can hold it together for 1 lap. He's used to driving in the 1 lap dashes. Of course, vets do their 2 lap qualifying, but he's going to come up to cross the line and begin the lap here at Red Bull Ring. Up towards turn 1 now under qualifying conditions. We know that Seen a couple of drivers struggle through here tonight. Does beautifully. That car looks absolutely steady and planted as he crossed over the sausage curb up towards turn 3. So this car's already looking nice and pacey, nice and steady as well. I'll just be trying to keep it as clean as possible across this lap. Through turn 3, that's a nice run through there. Doesn't bring it out too wide. He's now going to get a good run down towards turn 4 for the first time. I believe Sinkovic is back in here with me. He is indeed. Unfortunately, though, Mr. Parker's not going to be able to come and have a chat to us because he's not in the waiting room at the moment, but down through 4, does well across this portion of the lap. He's looking strong, 21.78, so he's on time with Daly at the moment. The second sector, though, is going to be so important in trying to maximise the run around this lap. As he comes through. Fastest sector in Sector 2, 39.54. So this will now be telling him that he is on pace with Travis Daly and could be set to head straight to the top after this shootout lap. Down towards turn 9. A fast-paced corner. Needs to be careful. The curve strike on the left-hand side. Does well to run it through. It was super close. Round through the final corner. It's going to be a clean run for him. He's going to get a time on the board, and this is going to be good enough for pole, I reckon. No, it's a 131.28, so the last sector actually hurt him.
Mate, I think that's what it is. So we're not going to hear from Matty Parker because he's having issues with his comms at the moment, but we'll see now. Greg Barber has jumped into the room. Well, it looks like Tyson McAvoy is decided to arrive as well. So they're all getting geared up in there. Greg will send out, the next one out is
Mr. Davis.
Jamie Davis from Team SRW Motorsports. Hint, hint, what a driver. So it's
we've fixed his livery as well, so he at least has the right one on the car sinker.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how he does though. But that last sector, unfortunately for Parker, just hurt him in the end. He was about 0.18 off the time of Daly through that sector, and it's just unfortunate. You know, it just really compounded together. And the lap just didn't really work out for him. 0.3 off the pole time. But see Daly taking a nice slow run. You can save about half a second across your lap just by going a bit slower on the outlap sinker. And I bet that's what Davis is trying to play right now.
Yeah, he's got to get his tyres right. Get it going. He was very quiet in the briefing room. I didn't hear a peep out of him. So he's raring to go out there. He's purely focused out there. You can see he's not trying to overheat the tyres, getting nice and clean. He's getting the brakes warmed up. You can see him going under brakes there. So he's doing all the right things. Stephen Collins, unfortunately, got home from work late, 5 minutes, and he got a lap in. Comes second last, had nose chopped off and into the fence. No quality time for the
Yeah, we saw that. We saw that in full 1080p HD. Steph.
Yeah, Steph. I hope the rhinoplasty wasn't too much damage.
Davis crosses the line though. He's going to start his shootout lap now in the Team SRW 92 Mustang here. Of course, Warren and Brown tools on the side of that car up towards the third corner now. It's a good run through turn 1. Let's try and keep it as smooth as possible. We know he's got the pace sinker. We know he can get these lap times in. And we know he's strong across the race meeting. Up into 3. A little bit of a wiggle under brakes. Bit of a lock-up as well. That might hurt him. It was a 21.8 through the first sector, so a bit off the time of Daly. And Daly wasn't even ultimately confident in the lap. So maybe the track is getting a bit worse for wear across the the proceedings of the shootout. But
yeah, it's midday there, so I think the track is warming up as we go. So the boys are going to have to work really hard to get fast times in there. Davis has done a 21.6, 21.8, so he's not too bad. Third fastest in the first sector. He's done a very good. Hang on, I'm looking at the wrong bits and pieces as well. It's not looking good at all.
He's currently the slowest in the first sector. Goes third fastest in the second, so he's just off the pace of Daly through there. But this is not looking like a barn burner of a lap here for Jamie Davis. Through the final 2 corners, needs to be careful running out wide, doesn't do so. So we haven't really seen anyone cop the curb strike through there just yet. Does well through the final corner. I don't think it's going to be good enough for him to go to the top, unfortunately. He's going to cross the line. It was fastest through the last sector. Goes P2 with a 1:30.97. So only just off Travis Daly's time in pole at the moment.
Oh, very well done there. Very well done there.
Drag Mr. Davis in. Jamie Davis, well, the lap came together across the end of it, but unfortunately didn't start out too well through the first sector.
Nah, it didn't at all. Made a mess of that, but got a slightly better race car, just haven't been strong in quali.
Well, mate, we know you got the race pace about you. We know you can keep it clean. Are you confident coming into the race tonight if you can hopefully keep the car in the top 5?
Yeah, slightly confident to snag a top 5, but yeah, it's the cliche in enduros. You just got to buy a ticket for that last stint.
Well, mate, best of luck. Hopefully you can afford one here tonight.
Thank you very much, Hamish.
No worries, mate. Thank you.
Good luck, buddy.
All right, Mr. Viger is now on track. See him coming up. Hey.
Like bigger better.
Well, that's how he pronounces his name, so it's correct. But Rick Viger of Hungry Birds Racing, Kumo Tyres entry, the only Kumo Tyres entry in the shootout here tonight. He'll cross the line, he'll start his lap. Let's go racing. Sinky, you need to put your Discord in streamer mode so we don't get any of those notifications happening. But up through the first corner. Yeah, you do it in your settings, and then you won't get any of your notifications.
That is my messenger going off. I will turn that off for you, mate. How's that sound?
No worries, but I also heard someone leave Discord as well, so it means that you do need to set it on. Up through turn 2, he did a 21.81 through the first sector, so he's gone just slower than Mole, but faster than Davis. So this could still be a good lap, because we know that Davis pulled it together through the last sector. He was fast through there. Hopefully Viger can continue the run as he comes round. 5th car on track. Next driver out there will be John Gallen here in the top 10 shootout. Bit of a wiggle through turn 4 into turn 5. So he's looking racy, but I don't know if the lap's going to be anything spectacular at the moment, Sinker, as he comes into the start of sector 3.
Well, it looks like the sun's not as bright as it was earlier on in the heat. So might be a bit of cloud cover as we speak, but I think it's just general track temperature is what's giving the guys a bit of problem at the moment.
Through the second sector, 39.71, so he is going faster than Billy Mole. But whether he can pit Matty Parker on the road at the moment is yet to be answered as he comes through turn 9. Does well to straighten it up, braking right in the straight line through the final corner. Nice and planted through there. What's it going to look like? Is it going to be top step material? I don't think it is. It's P3 for Rick Viger in the 014 Angry Birds entry. He did well there to get it up there, and it was just a nice, clean, consistent lap from him.
Yeah, it's nice and clean is the key at the moment tonight. So it is what it is. I'm just looking at the boys going, oh, I'm a bit bored waiting for the race to start. Look, it's only twice a season, so it's not a biggie. It's if you don't make it, it's just one of those things.
That's it.
Boys that are out there, it's a lot of fun for them.
Let's drag in Mr. Viger now. Rick Viger, a nice, clean, consistent lap for you. P3 on the road at the moment. Was that just a lap to get one on the board, or was that maybe full push?
Yeah, no, I was pretty happy with that. I haven't had the best preparation tonight, so yeah, little tiny mistake over the back cost me a couple of tenths, but yeah, pretty happy.
So how are you feeling going into the race? Obviously, a bit of a race of attrition. Vet's got to race here Thursday night. Are you feeling confident here tonight, or just hoping you can try and keep it clean throughout the proceedings?
Yeah, I didn't get to race last Thursday, so yeah, I don't know. See what happens. You just got to keep motoring around and see where we end up.
That's all you can do, mate. Well, best of luck. Yeah. Hopefully the time can stand, and hopefully you can start up towards the front of the end.
Thanks, Hamish.
Thanks, mate.
Good luck, Mr. Viger.
Thanks.
So Mr. Gallen's now out there for... Oh, I moved him out very quickly there before he could say thank you. Sorry, Cinco, but Mr. Gallen's now out there for his lap on the circuit. He's gone 21.8 in the first sector, so he's gone faster than Davis did. So we'll see if he can pull the rest of the lap together. He had some pace through the first couple of sectors in practice and through regular qualifying. Brad Hayes saying 130.65 I predict for Gallen. Well, we'll see how he goes through the second sector. 39.48, fastest through the second sector here tonight, Sinker. So this could be the first challenger we see to topple Travis Daly for pole position here in qualifying. Daly is guaranteed to start in the top 5 of this race now. He's guaranteed to. Gallen through the final sector as he comes through turn 9. Did well not to run it out too wide. In through turn 10. Hopefully it's a clean run for him as he comes through to cross the line. Is it going to be pole position for Pacific Esports Racing and for the amateur on the road? It is a 1:30.68 for John Gallen.
I tell you what, Brett Hayes wasn't far off a 1:30.65.
No, he was just about dead on.
3,000ths of a second off. Woo.
Mr. Gallen, what an incredible lap from you, sir. Maybe you need to start blowing motors the week before the race more often.
I reckon, yeah, no, thanks for that. It was very slippery out there. Track sounded pretty hot.
Is it a bit hotter than it was for practicing pre-qual?
Yeah, by about another 4 or 5 degrees.
Okay, that's why we're seeing the times where they are at the moment. So a little bit on the slippery end and a little bit cautious to make sure you get a good belter in. But I tell you what, the river of the lap, mate, 1:30.676.
Yeah, that was quite surprising. But happy with that, I'll take that. Nice and early.
Well, you have a good one, mate. Good luck in the race and enjoy the front row for now.
No worries. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, mate. Mr. Crosby now starts his run. Will Gallen's time hold for much longer? Or will Crosby line up in behind him here as he comes round to start his lap? What's the first sector going to look like up towards turn 3? Currently, top 5 cars are separated by less than half a second between them, and by less than a second between all 5 of them. It's then Billy Mole who's a bit off the pace here tonight. Through the first sector comes Darren Crosby, 21.82. So on pace at the moment with the likes of Rick Viger through there. Not too far off the pace with John Gallen currently in pole position.
Yeah, the first sector is probably the slowest. The boys have really got to get that last corner in place to get that pace up the straight.
Through turn 4. Such a difficult braking zone yet. As you come over the crest to go down the downhill, you're on the brakes immediately. Up through 5 now comes the M1 racing car. And we'll see what he does into split 3.
It's a lot harder than it actually looks. You don't really pick up how much of a drop down that is.
No, that's right.
Sorry, right.
39.77 through the second sector. So it's not looking like this is going to be a pole time, but it could be good enough for the top 3 if he can pull this last sector together in the M1 Racing Mustang. Defending champion of the Pro-Am Series here on Tuesday nights is Darren Crosby as he comes round the final corner now to finish off his lap. Is he going to go into the top 3? That could be a curb strike though. What's the time going to be for Darren Crosby? Crosses the final sector line. 29.69 goes P6 on the road. A little bit disappointing there from the defending champion, but we'll see what he can do in the race.
A little bit off form at the moment. Let's get Mr. Crosby in here. Mr. Crosby, how'd that feel out there, mate?
A little bit slippery.
Yeah.
Anticipating that hot temperature, but yeah, it was a little bit difficult. Didn't feel very confident.
Yep. Is it going to be okay for the race? Is your setup for your poly a lot different to your race pace?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll settle into the race being a long race, so I should be right.
Yeah, nice to see. Well, we're expecting you to lift, mate, because there's going to be a time all the way through. And
yeah, I'm going to need to.
But you've got a fair bit of time to get it done in, so it's not too bad.
Yeah.
All right, mate. We'll let you go out there, have some fun. It looks like Chris Burridge is leading the team out there, so we'll have to see.
It's his setup. He's probably giving me a dud setup.
Oh, mate, hopefully you can wrestle around for an Enduro and keep it up in the top 5.
Thank you, mate.
No
Cheers.
Worries, mate. Best of luck.
Good one, buddy.
See you guys.
Dylan Gray has now started his lap, 21.69, fastest through the first sector. So it may not be very long until John Gallen has been toppled off the top of the timing tower as he comes up towards turn 4. Just needs to try and control those curb strikes, keep this car in control around this lap. Into turn 4. You can see the car just dancing under brakes there in the downhill. As we mentioned, it's incredibly steep and quite unnerving when you get into the braking zone there because you don't know if the car's going to pull it up. Into the start of Sector 3, end of Sector 2. What's the time going to be as he comes through turn 6? It's going to be a 39.5 through the second sector. This is looking like a nice, quick lap from him. He was fastest through the first by 1/10 of a second over John Gallen. Up into Sector 3. Through the final couple of corners he comes. Into Turn 9. Needs to keep it nice and tight. Does well. Under brakes into Turn 10. A nice fast run from Dylan Gray. And this is looking like it's going to be good enough for top step in qualifying. Crosses the line. Goes P1 by 5 thousandths of a second over John Gallen. Or 500ths of a second, I should say.
That was so close. What a welcome back. Mr. Gray, how do you go, mate? Welcome back. And you've got on the top of the charts, mate.
Yeah, a couple of mistakes, but oh well. Push on for the race. But I'm happy to be back.
You'll make the setup good. You happy with the setup for qualies, the setup for the race?
I got a good race setup. Quali setup was a bit loose, but otherwise, hopefully I can get a podium. If not, top 5, which I'm going for.
Yeah, consistency is the key for this competition because the pace, the difference between the drivers is really not even tenths, it's more like thousands. So it's going to be a tough season all the way through. Good to see you back on track, mate. Good to see you supporting SLM Motorsport. Say hello to the lads when you speak to them next, and good luck for the race, buddy.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
So Chris Burrage from M1 Racing out on the circuit now. We've got 2 cars left to go here in the shootout, and it's 2 M1 racing machines. First, the Commodore of Burridge in the 042, and then we'll see Stephen Kennedy in the 55 head out on track as well. Knowing that Kennedy is our championship leader for the Pro-Ams at the moment. We'll see if his teammate's going to be here to help him or to race him here tonight as he comes through up towards turn 4. 21.85 through the first sector, so a little bit off the pace, but we'll see if he can get it inside the top 5 here in the shootout.
Yeah, the key is sector 2 and 3. That first sector has been up and down for a lot of the drivers. You just got to get it's a thing of whether you overheat the tyres or not, and get that last exit into the first part of the sector 2, which is key.
Fastest through the middle sector. The 39.5 sinker. So this could be a good lap from him here if he can pull it together through the final sector, as we mentioned.
It's a whole 10th and a bit faster than Matty Parker's fastest in that sector. Nice through there, taking as much liberty as he can. Oh, he's so far on the edge there. Well done.
One of 4 Commodores in qualifying. Is he going to be the fastest? He's not. He's gone P5. So,
last sector,
yeah, that last sector hurt him.
Yeah.
So this means now John Gallen is guaranteed to start at least on the second row of the grid. So we drag him in. Oh, you've already done it for me.
Burridge, how you going, buddy? How'd that feel, mate?
Oh, all right. A little bit slow, I think. Yeah, sort of.
You happy with it? You happy with the setup? Is it just got too slippery for you?
No, I reckon just sort of sitting around. I sort of got out of the zone a bit, but
yeah,
not
no nerves.
Yeah, kind of nervous for sure.
It does make you sweat it out a bit with having all those boys sitting in there because they're pretty quiet in there. I thought there'd be a bit more chitter chatter, but being in there for the first 3 laps, the boys are pretty quiet. So when I hear a room like that, or when you don't hear anything in a room like that, you realise that these are all guys working and cooking in here, getting a bit nervous.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely for me anyway. That was like the first couple of corners. I just didn't want to get off track, So
good. Yeah, the banker.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, good luck for the race. Have fun. That's the number 1 rule.
Yeah.
We'll speak to you later.
Cool.
Cheers, buddy.
Where's Mr. Kennedy?
Yeah, what's going on? He's in the room.
He's in the room, but he's not on track.
What's going on? Are they falling asleep in there?
Do you want to go get us an update, Sinker?
Yeah. We'll see what's going on.
Well, if Kennedy does not end up on track, ladies and gentlemen, what this will mean is it'll mean that amateur John Gallen will start front row of the grid, P2 on the road, as the top seeded Holden Commodore out on track. Dylan Gray currently pole position. 1 minute 30.63. Then it was Gallen with a 1 minute 30.68. Only 4 tenths of a second separate them on their qualifying runs. Daly Davis. Daly was the first one out there. He set the time early. He's kept it in P3 at the moment. Guaranteed to at least start on the second row of the grid. Cannot drop below 4th. Davis P4. Burridge P5. Viger, Parker, Crosby, Mole. And we're waiting to see if Stephen Kennedy is going to
Kennedy
get out
won't
there.
be going on track. His car dropped out. He dropped out of the servo as he was supposed to be going out. So he will be starting in 10th position. So that is our final top 10, Hamish.
Very good. So I did just run through the order as well. So it will be Dylan Gray on pole position. It'll be John Gallen in P2. Daly, who set the time early, he'll start P3 ahead of Jamie Davis. Burridge, Viger, Parker, Crosby, Mole, and then Kennedy will be the top 10 for our Enduro tonight around the Red Bull Ring.
Well, we're going to get probably a few other drivers that are out there watching still because they're watching the top 10 because they're probably bored out of their brain once that other race had finished. But any other drivers that haven't done any qualifying at all, they need to reach out to the guys to make the server because it's a manual grid. So they will be setting that grid up now as we speak. Barbs will probably be doing that while Mr. McAvoy is talking to the rest of the dudes. I am just leaving the session, withdrawing from this one and waiting for the next one to go up. So, all you Victorians out there, Saturday, Sunday, Moto X is at the Melbourne Showgrounds. Myself and Dean will be attending there with Warren Brown Tools. So we'll be there ready to have some fun. We'll have our rigs all set up. There's going to be Sandown set up. The V8s are going to be set up. Bit of fun, a bit of racing. Warren Brown will probably do a few giveaways and stuff like that. So it's going to be an interesting 2 days. You can come and meet us, come and have a chat. We're expecting John Bauer to come past. He's going to be up at the Rare Spares booth, so I'll try to entice him over as well. Say hello to a few people. So come down and have a chinwag with us and come for a spin.
And do they need to buy tickets for that event, or is it a free event, Sinker?
No, it's the show. Moto X is not a free event. I'm not sure what the entry fees are. It's a full-blooded event, so who knows what it's going to be like. I know they're usually tickets for some event like that about $50 somewhere around there. Might be a bit more. I'm not sure, but you can find that online. It's motox.com.au, and come and visit us. We're at the Warren Brown stand. And we'll be having a lot of fun, that's for sure.
So we're just waiting for the server to go up now. What we might do is might just run through our little ad roll, and then we'll come back. Hopefully the server's set up by then, but we'll let the ad roll, and then we'll return very, very shortly. That's right. Like and subscribe. Get on board. We'll be back in a couple of minutes, and we'll let the ads roll.
This is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Water.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Fishies in a row. They're here to make a point and to do Eddie proud. They fan out in the background as they come down to turn 1 for the first time. It all looks pretty good, 2 by 2. We'll stop the camera here. Oh, Eddie would be proud, mate. That was awesome run around turn 1. But, oi! Contact with the fishies!
He's made it through. It doesn't look like Angus has made it, but Thomas Freeman's made it through, and Angus is going to suffer the crowd coming through there to be able to turn his car around. Woo.
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend, I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannons insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride, whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride.
ride with Shannon's.
Call 134646 for a quote.
And they are off. It was a good start from Dylan de Bono. I think Phil Vella got a great start there in the background as well. You can see already cars going 5, 6 wide as they're trying to find any semblance of space. They come into T1. So far we've got 2, 3 wide as they snake down. It's Michael Conchar that's got around Dylan de Bono. A couple of cars going wide there. Was that a bit of contact in the back? Scott Pocock caught up in that, I think, there, buddy. But it's Michael Cuttajar's got past, so Dylan...
Light is coming out and we're about to get going, and we have a green light and a very slow start for the 86s, but they are moving out there on the grid. It would be very interesting to see exactly which driver can capitalise on this first lap. Just go through the grid. Look like Jamie Christensen had a really awesome start to get ahead of Dylan de Bono, and Doug Gowage also jumped his teammate as well. So.
Brought you all back a little bit early, caught you out there, didn't we? But waiting for our server just to go live now. We'll have a bit of a chat. Obviously, big season ahead, Sinker. We started out last week, first round out at Sonoma tonight, Rebel Ring, of course. Then move on to Portimao next week, which I am super excited about, especially after the racing we had there this past week with F3s and IMSA. Then Jerez, Suzuka, Winton, Watkins, Driver's Choice, which is looking like Road Atlanta, and then Belle Isle as well, rounding out the season. So, going to be a big one. I'm looking forward to that final round out of Belle Isle and then Portimao next week.
Yeah, it's you know what, it's one of those seasons that I've been itching for it to start for a while, and it's just getting better and better. Every night we're doing something a bit different, and the fighting amongst all series that we're doing at the moment is just it's just epic. It's just epic. I mean, now I'm looking forward to tomorrow night and watch tomorrow night's race because that's going to be amazing. The F3s, and then all of a sudden we're there for a Thursday night. My month is going to go like that. It's just going to go bang every second night producing, but a lot of fun.
Rusty Shackleton saying these things must be a riot at the Glen. I mean, just quietly, Rusty, if you want to go check out a race around there was a Vets race earlier in the season. Although it was a very long race, it's layout dependent, I think. I mean, personally, as a viewer, I prefer the non-bus stop layout, so the older layout still has the boot but doesn't have the bus stop, just because it's a straight fast run down that straight into the fast right-hander. Just these things at full noise through there is incredible, and I think it just helps with the flow of the track where the bus stop, it doesn't really suit these cars too much, but no, it's a good track for these cars and very challenging too, especially that boot section can be incredibly challenging for the supercar.
Session is open.
It is, and I am joining it right now.
Same here. We're going to be, don't leave, don't move. Grab yourself a drink, grab you some popcorn, some chippies, some burger rings. They're my favourites.
Have you had the Thins onion rings yet, Sinker?
No, I haven't.
They are exceptional.
I do like the sour cream ones. They're one of my go-tos. I'm a savoury guy. I'll eat anything that's dry and spicy.
One of my little sneaky treats. Not many people know about it. It's in the international section of like Coles and Safeway, or Woolworths as it's now known. I still call it Safeway. There's a bag of like Korean onion ring chips. They are the best thing, and for $2.50, they are an incredible deal, and they're so nice. They're so good.
You know, and salt and vinegar snips old school.
I don't like salt and vinegar, to be honest with you, but it's fair enough. If you like that, you like it.
Can of wine soon. Just see that on the news a few weeks ago.
What was that? Sorry? Can of wine?
Yeah, crack can of wine.
Oh, it makes sense, actually, like cans of Moscato. because they're carbonated. So
yeah, everything they're putting everything in there. Everything it's all going in a can, mate.
Interesting. So waiting for our drivers to join the session now. Hopefully they can jump in here.
So the boys are all starting to jump in. I'm seeing the numbers pop up as everyone's joining in. Oh, it looks a bit foggy on track.
It looks very foggy. It looks
What's going on
very
there?
foggy. Oh, you know, early morning.
Early morning.
Rusty would possibly the actually it's two incredible chats. Kobe Jordan, Old El Paso section is poor man's meat rubs. And then Rusty with wine tinnies. Finally, the hobos don't have to lug those boxes around.
Yeah, but those boxes, they're a vital part of the hobo's lifestyle. That's a pillow.
Mate, they are, mate. They're also a vital part of, we can't say technically teenagers, but whatever their choice is, it's their choice. But development for house parties, when you combine the goon bag with the washing line, it's Australian culture summed up right there. So, couldn't ask for a better combination, I don't reckon.
It must be an out northeast thing, mate. We didn't put ours on a clothesline.
It's a southeast thing for sure. For sure, it's a southeast thing. I like how we just come from opposite ends as well. Like I'm in southeast suburbs, you're in the northeast.
Yeah, I'm in northwest.
Or northwest.
Yeah.
Hey, Andrew Proctor gets it now. You're talking my type of party. It goes good. Honestly.
Proctor, how you been, mate?
That
Been a while.
Hey, Rusty's right actually. You can't cash in the box. Drink the tinnies, then you can save the cans and get some refund.
This is true.
Hey, hobo's self-sustaining, and if they're one of those hobos that's a bit of a criminal, well, they might try and make profit off that. But we do not recommend you do that. We do not condone that, of course. But we know it's hard times for hobos, so you never know.
Yeah, hobos got to move to New York. New York has got a housing system where hobos get free housing.
Andrew Proctor's actually spotting for Mr. Gray tonight, so hopefully he can try and help him weave his way through the chaos that is this race circuit and this race as well.
Yeah, Jesus, a lot of boys on track. I tell you right now, it's going to be a good night. It's going to be a great race.
A couple of drivers yet to join the race session, so hopefully they can get in. Just quickly, I've had a message from my driver that's in the race. He's telling me he did the other race, and I'm telling him it was just a fun race for those who didn't make the top 10.
He's telling you he did well, did he?
He just told me he did it. He didn't tell me if he did well or not. He might be keeping that a secret from me. I'll have to wait and see. But I mean, Robbie's got some good pace in him. I think, predictions for tonight's Sinker, I think I could very easily see, a bit of chaos happening. I think the likes of Robbie Crow, Andrew Cowan, they should get inside the top 10, hopefully. I think Jamie's going to make top 5, if not podium, if he can keep it clean. Race winner tonight, I think you can't really go past the likes of maybe Kennedy. We didn't really get to see his pace in qualifying there for the shootout. Obviously, Dylan Gray, we know he's quick. We know that Davis has got some gas in the car when he's on, so could be an interesting top 3 as well.
Mate, I got the biggest team in Tuesday night.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because you got a paid team.
4 drivers?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
three of them are
One.
amateurs, though, to be fair.
Yeah, that doesn't matter, mate. That doesn't matter.
To be honest, I'd rather be in M1's position, have 3 Pro-Ams on the Tuesday than have 3 amateurs and a Pro-Am.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're all good drivers. They're going to take points off each other. It's like the Brownlow medal. When you've got a team, you very rarely you get the premiership team with the Brownlow medalist in it because there's a lot of players firing on all cylinders, taking points off each other.
Just quietly, I think, speaking of the Brownlow, I think Isaac Heaney's got that thing locked at the moment.
Who?
Isaac Heaney from the Bloods, mate, from Sydney. He is playing out of his skin this season.
4 drivers, potentially big repair costs. Yeah.
That's right.
Thank God we had to pay for
Although,
damages.
in saying that, Sinker, I've got 5 drivers in one split of vets, so you'd hate to think what my bills are.
Yeah.
So,
You're doing a hell of all these old fast, mate. Yeah, young pup.
yeah. Well, it's because when I inherited the team, there was 2 of them, and I wanted to expand the team in vets, so I got 3 more. Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah. That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Now, Rusty, to be honest, I don't think Tom Green's had a strong enough start to the season, to be honest with you. I think Heaney's been ridiculous. Like, he is incredible at the moment. He's #1 player in the league for a reason. I think Green will pole well, but he won't win.
My question is, race control. How far off are we from starting this gig?
Yeah, because we're not going to sit here for 20 minutes of a race. Oh, of practice.
Yeah. Maybe they're yelling at each other.
Maybe. Maybe they're arguing because not everyone knew it was start at 7 instead of 8. Maybe that's why.
Rick Vigo can't see the session. Is he in?
Rick Vigo, he's... No, Vigo's not in the session yet. It's in the league, Rick. So if you go into the league, it's in there.
Yeah.
Where's he said that?
He said that 2 minutes ago. So hopefully, hang on, did I see him in the room before? He's left the... I can't see him in the chat at the moment. Yeah, we're always out for a bit of community service here from Hamish and I. 26 viewers out there, guys. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. Also, get your families to do it, get everyone else to do it. It's a lot of fun watching these boys out there.
And there is background work to try and up our broadcast a little bit as well. Sync, obviously, we spoke about doing some graphical work for maybe track maps or stuff like that. So we're always trying to improve our craft and improve our show as best we can. There'll be conversations to be had in the background, and hopefully...
Hopefully you'll be able to try in the next couple of days. Maybe Sunday night, Hamish will try.
Well, the first track I started doing was Red Bull, so...
that is the question. I'll have to ask Mr. Barbs if race is going to be Sunday or Monday this week, considering that there's been stops.
I've organised it to be done on Sunday for the broadcast, but it can easily be changed to the next day. Yeah. But currently it's set to Sunday, just because we know Scops isn't on. But conversations will be had, announcements will be made when it's going to happen. I don't see any reason why we can't just race on Sunday. Might actually get more drivers that way, just because some people might want to do the official, and it's a longer race. Not many people are going to want to do an enduro on a Monday night after work. We can even start a bit earlier on the Sunday as well, because it is Sunday.
There's amazing what nights people will race. I get quite surprised when I see people on different times of the night, and I'm like, wow, don't these guys get enough?
Yeah, I know. It's like they just cannot get enough.
Yeah.
Of the Supercars. It is super foggy. Hey, rare sight, Sinker. One of our cars together on track.
Oh yeah. Rick says he still can't see it. Does he need to be? I don't know. Why wouldn't he be able to see it? Barbs,
I don't know. He should be able to see it. He's in the league, so.
Manual grid that he can't see it. Well, it's a manual grid, and I got into it, so there shouldn't be any reason why he can't.
Yeah.
Is that what we're waiting for, Rick, to get in? It must be. He needs to turn his computer off and on. That's what he needs to do.
Oh, then we're going to be here for ages trying to wait for that to happen. Obviously, we wanted to go race, but surely there's a better fix than just turn the computer on and off.
I don't know why you wouldn't be able to see it. That's a question. It's got to be a setting at his end. It's not something that we would switch off. So he is a member of the series, so we have full access to it as well.
So the question is, Sinker, do we have the people vote on which of our cars is better, or we got to just agree that they're both good?
Oh, we'll avoid the inevitable people hurting your feelings, mate.
Oh, I wouldn't have asked the question if I wasn't confident in my own design work.
Really good. That's the update for Mitch Nickel. Don't know what to do. Let me just ask the question from our race stewards to see if there is a way of going around this. 1 second, mate.
No worries, mate. All good. All good. So, get your predictions in, ladies and gentlemen. Who you think is going to be able to take the win here tonight? Out of all the drivers who were throughout qualifying and into the race as well. Just a reminder on who is racing tonight. Of course, Dylan Gray, Stephen Kennedy, Matty Parker. A couple more of our front runners with Billy Mole, John Gallen, of course, as well. As well as Rick Viger, who's trying to get into the session. Obviously, Cowie, too, Robert Crow, Peter Vanderkran, Travis Daly, Chris Burridge, Darren Crosby as well, Jamie Davis. All right, so the top 10 shootout, Doddsy was trying to think back. So it was Burridge, John Gallen, Travis Daly, Jamie Davis. Sorry, no. It was Dylan Gray, John Gallen, Travis Daly, Jamie Davis, Chris Burridge. It was Rick Viger. Someone else between him and P9. Who was it? I can't remember who it was now. Oh, it might have been Darren Crosby. Darren Crosby, Billy Mole, and then Stephen Kennedy, who unfortunately didn't make the track for the top 10 shootout. Yeah, so Gray was on pole in the shootout. The shootout happened at 7 o'clock.
The is in.
Very good. Very good. So, yeah, so Gray... Kobe Jordan reckons 3 Mustangs in the top 5 here tonight, Sinker. Well, we've actually got a pretty even spread of Commodores to Mustangs, actually. It's looking about 50-50.
Yeah.
Which is good. We love a good spread, a nice 50-50 spread, because it means that it is even pretty much on track. It's up to the drivers, not up to the cars, so it's good to see.
Yeah, 100%. 26 drivers on track tonight, which is good, out of a registered 47. So we're missing 20 drivers at the moment. I don't know how that works.
Well,
but it is.
I mean, maybe it came down to the earliest start. Maybe some drivers just didn't see the message early enough. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But I mean, I think if we, as I was saying before, if we race on Sunday, Sincar, we can get the news out there early enough. We could say, actually, we're going to start it at, say, 4:30 in the afternoon. Have a nice afternoon race. It's a longer race, and that way it doesn't go too late for those, obviously, who want to get up early for work on Monday as well.
Afternoon? I'm still on dad duties, mate. 4:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
The Tyson is at the moment. Sorry to change the topic. Tyson at the moment is doing his race briefing. Once he does that, he's going to advance the session, and we are on for young and old. So, people, there is still. Oh, no one's disappeared. Everyone's still out there. Good to see. And a lot of people talking, so I can never sleep after a league race.
Oh, see, there you go. Earlier starts are good because it means that drivers never want to go straight to bed. They just want to wait for a bit and then go to bed afterwards.
It's amazing how many drivers watch the race straight after the race. Sunday night's race was the viewing audience on it went off the hook. By the next morning, we'd already had 300 views, so it was amazing. The drivers and everyone else that supported us, thank you very much. We'll watch it after the race as well. It's spectacular. It helps us a lot. I think we made $50 on YouTube.
Oh, because that's going to go so far.
Well, we don't get paid until we hit 100.
It's like a it's like a bond. You have to wait 7 years to cash it.
Yeah.
You don't get it straight away. Gallen bringing it in now as well off the back of this practice session. Good to see Rick Viger did make it out there.
Yeah, I was gonna be very disappointed for him if he didn't. $50 on YouTube, so they'll take 40. And you get 10, yeah. Yeah, something like that. No, that's after their cut. That's after their cut, so it's not too bad. The numbers are rising. Look at the cars out there. They're all lined up, all blinking away in the pits.
Could be having a nice foggy start here. Maybe a sign of things to come, Sinker.
Yeah, I think it's going to be... Oh, look at that drift.
Oh, big slide from Burridge.
Sensational. And some more.
That's phenomenal.
Well done, Burridge, mate. Well done. That was put one on for the viewers. All 28 plus us two, all 30 of us watching away. That doesn't include what's on Facebook, so there'll be a lot of people watching on Facebook too. Well, here we go, ladies
Get
and
into our
gentlemen.
race here tonight. Our starting grid for tonight's race for our first Enduro of the season. It'll be a Pro-Am and an amateur on the front row of the grid, with Dylan Gray making his return to the series. He put his car in pole position for SLM Motorsport. He'll start alongside Pacific Esports Racing's John Gallen out of P2, with Travis Daly and Jamie Davis making up the second row of the grid in behind. It's then Chris Burridge and Rick Viger out of P5 and 6, with Matty Parker out of P7, Darren Crosby out of P8. So a couple of Vets boys there making up the fourth row of the grid. Billy Mole and Stephen Kennedy will then make up the top 10 here tonight, with Robert Crow of Simrig's Infinity Motorsport starting alongside P2 in the amateurs, Andrew Rushworth from Apex Esports League out of P12. Down to P13 is Andrew Cowan from Performance Sim Racing alongside P3 in the amateurs, Blake Fitzpatrick out of P14 on the road. Marty Hansen and Sean Vandermeulen will then make up the 8th row of the grid, with Scotty Weston and Stephen Martin making up the 9th. Daniel Clutterbuck, Peter Pavlovic will then make up the top 20, with Brett Taylor and Mitch Noble starting outside that top 20 barrier just now. Craig Healy and Josh King will then start P23 and P24, as we then move down to Brad Anderson, Peter Vanderkran making up the rest of the grid. I don't believe Stephanie Piccoli's actually made the session, Sinker, unfortunately.
No, she hasn't. She hasn't. I saw her in the chat before. Maybe she's gone and forgotten.
Maybe she went for a tea and forgot that it was happening.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, here they are. The boys are all on track.
So here's the Steph said I've lost race comms, can hear but can't transmit. She's attempting to fix, but unfortunately she's going to miss the start of the race. She's got to try and get into the session if she can, but she's going to miss the start, unfortunately. Phil Vella in the chat, who are waiting to come back to the F3 series on Wednesday nights. So here is the crux of it. Turn 1, Turn 3. They're going to be our big spots we're going to keep an eye on tonight, Sinker, because they're going to be the zones that we can see big incidents happening in the early stages of this race, namely lap 1, Turn 1. It's a real Sander Voddt Monaco-esque corner. It's one where it's nice and easy through there, please. We don't want to see any cars turned around and the whole field banking up. We've seen it happen in previous times around this track across multiple leagues. We want to try and keep it as clean as possible through there tonight. Gray is going to want to try and maximize this start. Gallen, the same, but he's going to want to try and hold position and just try and keep up the front as long as possible as those Pro-Ams start to encroach onto the back of him. You know, he's got the one-lap pace. It's whether he's got the race pace to keep it up here tonight and maximize on this front row start for Pacific Esports Racing, I should say. So Gray versus Gallen off the start line. Daly and Davis in behind. We know Davis is trying to put a challenge into this championship, Sinker. Let's get the lights up. Let's go racing here for enduro action around the Red Bull Ring. We're waiting for the flag to get ready to go racing. Gridding is finalized. Lights are up now. Let's go. Enduro action around the Red Bull Ring. Who's going to get the jump down towards turn 1? Green flag. It was a great start there from Gray. Bit of a box start though from Daly in behind. He's now going to lose out massively here to Burridge as we come up into turn 1 for the very first time. They come on through. We'll head up into our blimp just to keep an eye on things, but it is super foggy through here. But it's looking nice and clean.
All these cars, I can't believe they made it through all that traffic without actually knocking each other out.
I know, I'm so glad they're able to keep it clean as they come through 3. Nice and easy does it. Good to see them make it. As Gray leads them down to 4. Davis is already up into P2 on the road. Gallen under massive pressure here from Burridge in behind. Daly lost out early down into P4, P5. Burridge has a little wiggle through turn 4, and round through 5 they come. Noble's had an off track in the background. He's spun it round on 5 here. He now trickles down to the back of the grid.
Well, I think we had one of my boys, Josh King, spin at the back there. Oh no, it's Mitch Noble down the back.
He had a little spin into turn 5 as they come round turn 9 and into turn 10. It is Gray that leads the way here. Davis under pressure from Gallen in behind for second on the road. Here comes Burridge though, wants to try and maximise the run up into turn 1 on John Gallen. Can he get it done under brakes? Nicely done from Burridge. Gallen tries to hold the line. It's going to be too wide as they go up towards turn 3. This is going to be a drag race up the hill. No, it's not. Burridge pulls him in behind to try and get the slipstream.
Phil Bellows, what's it look like in the cockpit of one of these? It's a challenging cockpit, mate. Nothing like the open wheel as we race normally.
We are on board with Burridge. He lost out there to Daly, as well as Viger, who's on his right-hand side at the moment as we come down towards 4. Backs out of it, lets Viger through. Burridge knows this is a race of attrition. He just wants to keep it clean, not pushing too early. You know, an hour and 20 minutes of running. It's nothing to sniff at. You've got to try and keep it clean to get there for the last stint to push onto the checkered flag. Gray has broken away early on Davis. What a 1v1 this could be towards the dying embers of proceedings here tonight. If Davis can get up on the back of Gray, this is going to be an intense battle. We know Davis has got pace. We know Gray's got pace. Gallen's there too, is just hoping to maximise the start he had and try and keep it on the podium. To come round 9 into 10.
Long race. I'm just going to keep pace. Not go out too hard too early. Not burn out the tyres. So they're just going to keep their mindset going.
A heap of close battles at the moment, including Matty Parker on the back of Viger. He's also gotten past Burridge. Burridge has had a really poor start to this race. He is dropping down the order. Kobe saying rain soon. No, we won't get rain in this session, unfortunately, Kobe, but we'll actually never get rain for these cars. But Gen 3, when that comes out, should have rain on it. We'll hopefully be able to go racing in the rain in some supercars. As Parker not quite ready to go for the move just yet. I just saw a little blink there from Stephen Kennedy in the background, so hopefully that can sort itself out and he can stay out on track tonight, Sinker, and keep racing.
Yeah, well, last thing we want is some technical issues there and having issues across there, so looking good. Matty Parker's got himself, even though he hasn't got audio with us, he's doing extremely well out there. Burrage has dropped down 2 places, Darren Crosby 3 places, so the M1 team is not having a cracker. Kennedy is up by 1. The biggest mover at the moment is 4 places. Vanderkram from the back of the field to 22nd. The worst mover at the moment is Crosby down 3.
At least he's not out of the woods. No, it's Mitch Noble down 4 actually at the back of the field.
Vanderkram as well. Mitch Noble down 4 places. So not had a flourishing start for this one.
Come round the final corner once again. Nice clean racing so far here, Sinker. But we know that this track can turn on a dime and any incident can cause anything to happen. It can cause massive pile-ups, massive moments. It's going to be all about the keeping of attrition, keeping clean throughout the proceedings as well. As Gray leads the way.
It's a very tight race across the whole field. And you're looking now at the moment, 4 tenths, 3 tenths. The whole timing tower at the moment is yellow and orange. There's not a lot of gaps in there that you can fit into. If anyone makes a mistake, they're going to lose 3/4 of the field. So they need to be on top of their game and focus all the way through it. And that's one thing this track does do. Because this section of the track is probably the only bit, the straight to coming to the down the hill is the only bit where you really get to compete with yourself. The rest of the time you are under pressure all the time.
Just like this right now, Vandermeulen trying to get it done on Pavlovic. As Clutterbuck trying to get involved too, going to force Vandermeulen round the outside. Joined the Old Mate and Sons this season after starting out here as a privateer, hanging out with Billy Mole for a bit, then heading over to one of the Vets teams in the Diesel Tune Adelaide machine. Beautiful green on that car. Very Shannon's-esque green on that car, and it's a gorgeous colour, a nice metallic on it as well, but He's under all sorts of pressure here from Clutterbuck and Taylor, and Clutterbuck's going to get the move done. Taylor tries to sneak it up the inside, up towards turn 9. Had an update from Stephanie Piccoli. So to join the race server and booking in spectators, not race. No happy. Unfortunately, Steph, that's either means that they've accidentally not put you on the grid, or you've joined too late and it's not allowed you to join as a racer.
Yeah, it's joined too late. They're already once they've started the actual race, they've done the first lap. I think you're started. As am I at the moment. Flying blind. Loving life. Marty Hansen has just got the best lap out there, mate. A 1:30.972. So the conditions are a little bit trickier. But this fog, where's his fog come from? It's like, I suppose that part of the world, it probably is foggy right now.
Well, it's like the Sound of Music, just over the hills and through the cries comes the fog of Red Bull Ring. That was a horrible reference.
You really had me into a Sound of Music song then, mate. Then I remembered where I was.
There's a copyright strike if ever there was one. Yeah. You know, Billy Mole, he had gained on Kennedy off the start, but now he's back down to where he started in P9. Kennedy up 2, Crow in behind, he's up 1, so Crosby dropping out to actually move Robbie into the top 10 at the moment. To keep battling on through the laps here. 7.5 minutes into proceedings, Sinker, and about an hour and 20 minutes of racing that's to come here tonight.
Yeah, Jamie's at the top of the pointy end. He's 5/10 off Gallon. So they're really tight there, but their battle there has given Dylan Gray some space. He's gone off like a bat out of hell, and he's at 2:38. The question's going to be, what's his consistent lap pace going to be tonight, and whether he will have to race on a Sunday night.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, you know, it's his first 3 rounds, obviously, as Mole runs it way wide. Crow wants to run up the straight, can't quite get it done. Under all sorts of pressure there from Crosby in behind, but yeah, Gray, I mean, if he's too quick, obviously, on the Tuesdays over the next 2 weeks, then they're going to put him on the Sunday roster in the pros. So,
yeah, he's got a lot of pace on him too. Would not surprise me. I think he's got the pro pace.
Crosby and Crow, couple of C's, having a little biff and budge there through turn 4 and 5. They went too wide. Crosby tried to get it done. Crowy shut the door. Wasn't quite able to get it done through there, but he'll be lining this up over the next couple of laps for sure.
You got Crow on screen right now? Excellent. Excellent. I'm back, baby.
Showing off the absolutely gorgeous Simbriggs Infinity Motorsport livery. No bias whatsoever.
It's all good, man. You're allowed to be biased.
Yeah, I've had to deal with your bias for the last season and a bit, so I think I've earned it by now.
So Robbie Crow is now sitting in 10th place. What we're seeing here, viewers, if you've got somebody you want to see out there, please let us know, because it's going to be an hour and a half of racing, and we want to give every driver as much airtime as possible as we can. And the louder you scream, the more we can show you. And I think it was my cat that rebooted my computer for me a few minutes ago. I could just see her sitting behind the monitor.
Oh, you rebooted? You had your computer rebooted?
Yeah, I've just come back, mate. Decided to do an update and everything.
Oh, fair enough then. I didn't even know you were gone. Robbie, though,
I was just commenting on your comments.
Fair enough.
But the timing tower is still very, very tight. The only gap I can see is Billy Mole on the back of Stephen Kennedy in 9th and 8th position. Everything else is really tight. Travis Daly has got a second and a bit that Jamie Davis has gapped on him. Davis is right on the back of Gallen, keeping pressure on 6 seconds in there. What is going to happen with the tyres? This is the key. You can't push too hard at the front end of this race, because you want to have enough tread underneath you for the finish line when the pressure comes. Are you going to have more fuel at that point? Are you going to have fresher tyres? These are all the things that are going to come into play at the end of this race.
Well, thinking about this, a regular stint in a supercar is about an hour long. The race is an hour and 20 minutes. So we're going to get down to probably about 3 stints here tonight, 3 stops to get you home. Realistically speaking, I'd say the majority of the field got to change their tyres at the halfway point when they come in for that second stop, prior to the kind of the second of the middle stints. Right, first stop you wouldn't take tyres and fuel, you just take fuel.
If you're doing the second one, you'd be so much better off, because then you'd have a lighter car, better grip. You could really put the pressure on. Harry Dodd's the only thing Sinko is biased towards is the only Ford Mustang. Yeah, that's true.
The newer Mustang is a lot more prettier than the old one for sure.
The BDIs in the Mustang, mate, the way it comes down the straight. Have a look at that now. It's just got that cool look. It's almost like it's got a moustache as well.
Hey,
It's old.
the new one though is gorgeous. The new one is beautiful.
And then you get a Commodore, the one car behind it. It looks like a pompous guy that's just left the office.
I don't mind the old ZB, the old Opel Vectra.
I don't know. What is it? What do you call those things?
It's an Opel Vectra, I'm pretty sure.
Holden?
Yeah.
Is it Opel Vectra? Is it not a Holden Commodore? Is that what they used to call it?
Technically, this is an Opel Vectra, but yes, it's a Holden Commodore. It's branded as a Holden Commodore.
It's Holden. Is that around still?
Hey, Dodsy's in agreement. Old one ugly, new one absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, the new one is spectacular, and it is. This might upset you, I don't know, Singer. It is leaps and bounds better than the Camaro. I think the Camaro looks way too tall in the front end.
Yeah, the Camaro looks like it's when they were building it, they've slapped it into a wall that's pushed all the.
It looks like they've put a lift kit on the front end, or they've just completely stiffened the suspension. It looks way too tall.
Really high eyebrows. Yeah. All right, back to the racing. All right, enough crap talk. All right.
We've got another hour that we can chinwag for anyway. So
they don't sound too different. The engine sounds exactly the same, so they sound spectacular as they're going around this track. And again, the timing tower has not shifted, people. We have got all orange and yellow all the way through. The gaps are there. Jamie Davis is behind John Gallen, 2.2. They're all around the same pace, virtually. Last lap, Dylan Gray and John Gallen's just changed on me. They were only 1/10,000 apart on their time. 1/10,000. So we're talking 3 digits after the point. 1 digit off, so that's spectacularly close. So these boys are all travelling at the same pace. Top 3, the fastest in these is Jamie Davis. He's lapping at about 3/10 faster than those boys, so he's trying to catch them slowly. Then we go further down the field. Matty Parker on the back of Travis Daly at the moment. Matty Parker is about to make a move. It looks like they're side by side, having a bit of a sniff. He's got the outside line.
Might go for the switchback here.
It looks like he's trying to.
Oh, he's got this. Oh, nah. Daly just managed to keep the run.
He couldn't get the nose underneath him to do the overlap, but he's having another crack at it here. It's not over. Those of you who don't know Matty Parker, he is an accomplished go-karter. Races internationally.
Also a former Split 1 Vets driver. Still waiting to try and pick that Split 2 championship as that series has gotten more and more competitive.
He's still trying to get himself an over-under position. He's taken a different line. He's trying to get more pace out of it. He's right up the back of him now. He's setting him up at the moment, people. He's trying to get a bit early there.
There's Daly, there's Parker.
I think he's going to have a go down the hill because he's been setting him up for the last few laps and having a look at him. He's going to get nice and...
Burridge, Kennedy, Crosby, all the M1 boys into the pits nice and early now as we head up towards our... We're at 15 minutes in. One thing I'll say is, you know what I reckon Parker's actually doing right now? He's forcing Daly to over-defend. and he's forcing him to burn up that one of 2 sets of tyres he can use in this race.
He is. He's sizing him up, though. He's really getting into his mirrors. Let's see if he's going to have a crack down here.
He's putting the pressure on, and he's forcing him to defend hard. That's what he's doing. Parker's a smart racer, we know. He's a smart driver. Yeah. He knows that you can only change the tyres once. He wants to force Daly to have to... Look at that. Big lock-up. That's going to hurt the tyres. Here comes Parker up the inside.
He's got overlap. He's got to leave him room. Oh, he just didn't have enough. No, it's still not over.
What this is doing, it's forcing Daly to push the car too hard. He wants it around the outside, down at 9. He could get this done. He's cooked those tyres now. They are absolutely cooked.
He's put the run on him here.
Travis,
he's got to leave him.
Yeah, Travis is going to let him have it. Here comes Rick Viger. He wants to make it 3 wide. If Parker's smart about this, he'll let Rick go, he'll let Rick have it, and he'll let him put pressure on Daly as well, but Rick pulls out.
This is a great little fight between these 3 at the moment, looking absolutely spectacular. Up the top of the grid, which we haven't got to focus on at the moment, they're all gappy. They're all sitting down and fuel saving. There's about a second and a half between them. So there's a lot of fun. Travis Daly and these 2 boys are about 3 seconds behind the top 3 drivers. So this fight is going to be interesting right through.
So we saw it then. The pressure that Parker's been putting on Trav is hurting him at the moment. He forced him to go too hard, lock the brakes, cook the tyres. He is racing right now. Parker's not racing for an overtake. He's racing to kill the tyres. That's what he's doing. So he's still driving smooth. He's still driving his regular line, but he's forcing Trav to defend hard and to hurt the tyres. He's sitting in his mirror. He's putting all sorts of pressure on him. He's waiting for Trav to crack. And it's going to hurt Trav later in this race, I guarantee you.
Yeah, this is also bringing the boys behind into the grid. So Billy Mole, Robbie Crow, we're all catching up to these boys fighting. Rick Finger has actually done smartly. He's backed off. He's letting these boys fight and let these boys scream their tyres. This is the second time they've come too wide in this tournament. They've swapped around this time. Yeah. This time we've got Matty Parker on the inside, and he's finally made that move go. But he's got the draft for Daly all the way through. Where's he going to leave him? He's moved across a little bit. He's done his one move. Now he's under brakes. Nicely done. Viger seen the opportunity to get in and tuck in under. He's looking for the hole. Who's he going to go under and who's he going to bet on?
He wants the inside line on Parker. On the grass goes Rick Viger. Super close.
Parker tried to get in behind him as Matty Parker passes Daly, but Viger's lost the momentum.
And this is dragging Mole and Crow into this battle as well. All of a sudden, the one-on-one fights turn into a fatal 5-way. And all of them want a piece of the pie on offer. And now it's Parker's turn to defend against Daly.
I think Parker's going to gap it here a bit and let these boys fight it out again. He's got, the way he was driving, how smooth he's been behind Daly, his tyres are going to be a lot better off. So you can see it already. He's already opening it up. So now already at this point, Daly is thinking about Viger. He's got Viger in the back of his mirror, and he knows that Viger's next.
Yeah, he wants this pressure from Viger on Daly to help him walk away. Viger might be smart though. He might just chill. He might just let Daly keep going and keep the pressure on Parker up ahead.
He's got a mirror full as well.
He is.
Yeah, fair point there, Rusty. They do need to be working together to catch the front 3, but they haven't been. They've gapped it now. There's a 5-second gap from Matty Parker to Jamie Davis. And the guys up front are all sitting there in cruise control. Their lap times are pretty much identical. They're 198 to 180 last lap. Dylan's last lap here has been 2 tenths faster than the boys in front of him, but they're sitting into a groove and they're sitting in for their first stint.
See Billy Mole on board with him now on the back of Rick Viger. The Kumo Tyres entry of Angry Birds Racing. Mole just trying to keep up here at this point in time. He's been dragged into this battle. He's also dragged Robert Crone behind him as well. They are just starting to settle now.
Barrage, Kennedy and Crosby
And
down the
Vanderkran
back.
have all come into the lane as well.
Yeah, they're all. Those three have pitted, and they're on a different strategy. They've pitted at lap 10. We at the moment are at the 21-minute mark, so we're at the 1/3 point, and it is now, what is it, lap what?
Lap 14.
Lap 14. So they've gone a little bit early for the first stint. Maybe they'll try to get track position and fuel safe for the second stint. And then, who knows, they'll probably take tyres for the third, but look at that sort of strategy.
This happened to Andrew Rushworth a bit further around.
Oh, who's that?
He's on the outside of one of the EWR cars. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there was any contact there or not.
Did he blip out or did he tow by accident? I think he's towed.
No, he's still rolling, so he's still going.
Oh, this is on my screen, that's all.
So here's Rushworth. He's got the car in beside him. Was there contact? Oh yeah, there was.
Yeah.
And that could be a penalty for the EWR car there.
I don't know if it's an EWR car because you've got to look at the race line from the top to see who's moved off the race line and who's shut the door more than the other. So that'll be like a bird's eye view to see who's moved off their line and who's shut the door. But it could be either way. No one else is looking like pitting at the moment.
As you say that, Dylan Gray's come into the pits. Oh no, he's actually blinked.
Yes, he's blinked, and he's just lost 4 places. Oh, whoa!
Is he out?
He places like crazy on my screen.
Same. He's out. He's dropped. He's
Hang
gone.
on.
Where's Healy? There's Healy there. So he's dropped out right here at turn 7. He's just disappeared off the face of the earth.
It doesn't. There's nothing on the iRacing comms that says he's disconnected.
I bet you will say that in the next minute or so.
Oh, he'll be cursed. No, he's still on track. He's still on track.
Yeah, he's dropped out. He's dropped from Discord as well, according to Proctor. He's gone. So out of the lead of this race, 23 minutes in, Dylan Gray, our race leader, who was looking for an absolutely incredible race, has dropped out and promoted John Gallen to first position as an amateur. I think if John pulls this off, he's surely going to be looked at to go into the Pro-Am.
That I'll tell you what, that's a bit of a bummer for the young guy. He's had a good race. He was 2 seconds ahead, so it was a good fighting position to.
It's absolute heartbreak.
Strategy in place and everything. That's a real shame.
Absolute heartbreak for him. You know, you got to feel for him.
Yeah, we got it.
Rusty, AMs hardly ever win in the Tuesdays. I don't think has an AM ever actually won overall, Sinker?
Yeah, didn't Cowie win as an AM?
I don't know because I didn't call the action when Cowie was an AM. Yeah.
I can't remember to be off the top of my head right now.
So
but,
last season we never had an AM. Yeah, last season we never had an AM win. I know that for sure. Which I believe last season was the first time we had the Pro-Am and AMs on the Tuesday. So in the current lineage of how this season structure works, we've never had an amateur win on a Tuesday. They've won their class, but they've never won overall. Stephen Banks saying that's so cruel for Dylan. It's absolute heartbreak for him, honestly. Had the pace, had the consistency, and to drop out like that, you've got to feel for him, honestly. Honestly, you do. So it's a shame, but I mean, who knows? If he's racing on Sundays, he'll get the opportunity to race again in the Pro-Am class. And I'm sure there'll still be considerations whether to put him in Pro or not. We'll have to wait and see how the race control deem that. But John Gallen is now our new leader for Pacific Esports Racing ahead of Jamie Davis and Matty Parker.
Peter Pav's got, he's up. Lap 16, turn 300 brakes. Rick Vigo has called that in just now. Peter Pav up 10 places. And he has got Clutterbuck, Martin, Blake Fitzpatrick, Van der Million. It's all fast guys behind him, all just trailing now. So they're having a bit of a run. It looks like they've been consistently at those gaps all the way through. So interesting to see if they're just going to try to catch the pack in front of them, because the pack in front of them is Marty Hansen. They're 8 seconds behind, so they need to work hard as a team. get through there. Clutters is having a bit of a sniff, but not a lot of pressure.
Oh, well, Andrew, give our best to Dylan, mate, and let him know that we feel so sorry that he's dropped out of the lead of this race. We honestly do. That's absolutely heartbreaking from us to him. So hopefully he'll be back next week stronger than ever. And go for that win.
I was really looking forward to the fight for the last 10 laps. It was going to be an epic little battle going through.
So this was what Rick Viger called in, I do believe.
Moving on the brakes, he said.
Yeah, that might have been on daily there. What did you say? Was it turn 4?
Yeah. It's cost him a few spots.
It has.
Whatever it was. Yeah.
Dylan will be back Thursday. We'll hope to see you back on Thursday. Dylan, best of luck in the 8.6s, mate. So I'm just going to go on board here with Rick. I want to see. Oh, that's a big slide. Yeah, that's what it was. I reckon he's saying that Travers moved under brakes mid-corner.
And come out wide on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon that's what's happened.
We'll see what the boys downstairs say, because it's downstairs now, because it's actually a room underneath us, so I'm going to call it downstairs from now on.
They're at track level. We're up in the booth.
Yeah, correct. They're at pleb level. Actually, no, when you're at the tennis, the ground level is the Oh, here we go. NFL. NFL.
Yeah. I think it's just, he's running a bit wide. Wasn't maybe trying to move.
Wide, probably run a little bit tighter, so there's probably a contribution of both. Yeah.
What this means now is means that Viger's under pressure here from Robert Crowing behind. It's quite conflicting to have that happen on track, Sinker.
I'm waiting for some more pits to go, mate. There's a few of the boys at the back of Brett. Scott Weston, Brett Taylor, Brett Anderson. Those boys are pitted. Vanderkran's pitted. So there's going to be a bit of a shake-up bit later on. But the gap is just so far ahead. Like, we're talking 44 seconds up to 18. So those boys that have pitted early, it's going to be close. What's a pit? Well, how long's a pit run on this?
It's around about
19 seconds is just the pit. On average, 16 to 19 seconds. And then you've got the pit run, the run down the pit. It's not the longest pit run, that's for sure.
At most, they're going to be running between 3.3 and 3.5 litres per lap. Right, obviously 65 litres. If we do some quick maths, we know there's a 65 litre starting tank, and that's the allowable fuel you can put in as well. Off the back of that, to do some quick calls. A little bit of a Larko here for us. So we'll go at max 3.5. 18 and a half laps. That's the maximum. So they're obviously running less than that because they're on to lap 19. So we'll say 65 divided by 3.3. That's 19 and a half laps. So I reckon next lap they're coming in. I reckon this is going to be the pit lap.
Yeah, you heard it. Next lap's pit lap. All right. Lap times of the boys in the front are all very close. Very, very close. We are talking 1/10 between the lap speeds. The fastest in that last lap was Jamie Davis, 1:31.319, and Matty Parker and John and Gallen were like a 1/10 slower. So the boys are consistent right through. They're just hitting their markers, hitting their apexes, getting through this session. I don't think there's going to be much attacking from either of them until after the next pit stop.
So we're getting closer and closer to a third of the way or a quarter of the way into this race. Excuse me, sorry. Billy Mole having a bit of a blink there though on Travis Daly, so needs to be careful of that one. Matty Parker started to run away a little bit as the top 7 are just starting to spread just slightly as they come up towards their pit stop.
Hamish, just have a look. What's the travel time for Steve Martin in and out of that pit? His pit stop was a 27 one, so it's a long pit stop.
He's coming out now with a 101.77, so that is a 65 litre fill. He's full fill to his maximum as Gallen continues on.
So what was his travel time?
101.77. 1 minute, 1 second, 0.77. Taylor's was a 102.6. As Hanson's into the pits. So he comes in, so they're able to go a little bit longer. They might be running maybe 3.2 litres per lap. at this point.
See where he out. 6 seconds ahead. He's about 12 seconds, 20 seconds plus from Andrew Rushworth. Let's see where he comes out.
Apparently Stephanie Piccoli knows what Gallen's pit strategy is. Maybe he's trying to get to 40 minutes and then he can do a one-stop, but I doubt he's going to be able to go 40 minutes on 65 litres. I doubt that very much, to be honest with you.
And Jamie Davis is catching him at the moment. He's gapping him pretty much 3 to 4 tenths a lap at the moment. So Gallen is definitely fuel saving. I'd say that Jamie would be as well. We've noticed in the last few races of last season, Jamie would actually fuel save and get an extra lap past what the other guys did.
Josh King's also into the lane. So 50 litres roughly gets you about 14 to 16 laps. So it's pretty much cut off. Yeah, Gallen's in, Davis is in. Watch the rest of the field come in as well. Here comes Parker. Yep, he's in. 100%. Yep. Oh, Daly's stayed out, so he's pushing the limits. Viger's also stayed out. Crow's in. Oh, he's made a late decision to come in. I reckon he's looked at his fuel numbers. He knows he can't make another lap. So that was a very, very late entry from him. Very lucky not to cop an iRacing black flag. Comes in ahead of Cowie.
That's my job, isn't it?
Yeah. So, Rusty, you get 1 tyre change in this race. You get 1. So they've really got to be smart about it. I would say that majority is either going to change their tyres now or they're going to go for it on their second stop, which the guys who've gone half an hour, they only need 1 more stop to get home now. They're guaranteed to get home on 1 more, knowing that they can get to half an hour to go. The guys who came in early with the likes of Kennedy, Burridge and Crosby, who've gone for this undercut, they're now going to be able to go. They're going to be able to. They're going to pit again soon. That'll be their last stop, so they'll probably pit around about 50 minutes to done in this race. Half an hour to go for a straight run home of 30 minutes. That's what they're going to be trying to do here in this portion of the race. Longest stop here for Robert Crow. I reckon he did actually cop an iRacing black flag for crossing the pit entry line.
Well, big difference in pit length. John Gallup did 21.49 and Jamie Davis at 29.9 actual pit time. So I'd say he's taken less fuel, by the look of it.
Well, Crow has definitely had a stop go for crossing the pit line because his pit stop was 1 minute and 9 seconds. As Daly and Viger come in.
Yeah. These Blake Fitzpatrick is the last one that hasn't pitted. Craig,
yeah.
Brad Ants hasn't pitted either,
hasn't he?
Nope.
He hasn't either. Interesting. I reckon he'd be coming in this lap though, surely.
Here's my coffee, people. Yeah, exactly, Steph. A lot of strategy coming into play here, and it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out at the 30-minute mark.
John Gallen has got a 5-second lead over Stephen Kennedy, who's P2 in this race at the moment. Remembering, though, that Kennedy's going to need a longer stop than Davis will later in the proceedings. Same with Burridge and same with Crosby as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how the strategy plays out now.
Gallen will... he's had a big stop this one. But Jamie has had a lot bigger one than his, a full 10 seconds more. So it's going to be interesting, very interesting.
I reckon Daly's had the same thing happen to him, Sinker, because he's now down the back of the grid. He's also had a stop go. 1 minute and 10 seconds was the stop.
That's Robert Crow.
That's Rushworth there. Here comes Crow. He's going to come out behind Daly.
Both of them.
Both of them copped it.
Yep.
So there's Crow and there's Daly. So both of them got it. Fitzpatrick in as well. It might have been a speeding in the lane for Travis because I don't think he actually crossed the line.
Crossing the line coming in.
Yeah. That's Fitzpatrick's in.
My boys are sitting 23, 24, 25. They've all pitted lap 20, 21, 22. So let's see how their strategy pans out. Stephen Kennedy is just... Blake Fitzpatrick has gone into the pits.
He has. He's done his stop.
Let's see when Blake comes out.
Zoe Cooper in the chat saying, let's go Sean Vandermeulen. At the moment, Mr. Vandermeulen is in P17 on the road, P4 in class, not too far behind P3 in class in Brett Taylor, who's just around the corner from him. There he is there, Mr. Vandermeulen.
He's second in the AMs at the moment, followed by Brett Taylor. Brett Taylor, 2 weeks in a row, sitting in 3rd place.
Now he's in 2nd. He's actually gotten past Fitzpatrick. I don't think Vandermeulen's going to catch him though, unfortunately, but he's going to be there and he's going to be right on there to have a great battle.
I'll tell you what, epic race from going tonight.
It's been phenomenal.
Hiccups. He's really putting it all together.
I think
I
think a pro-am in the making is John Gallen at the moment.
Yeah.
But what this means is though, history will be made. We'll get an amateur winner for the first time. If he's able to hold this off, obviously, strategy is going to come into play with Kennedy. We know he's got pace. Same with Burridge, same with Davis, same with Crosby. Parker's there too. So, I mean, even though he's 13.5 seconds off the back of Gallen, safety car comes out. That's going to change the game, going to really turn it on its head. And all of a sudden, we're going to have a completely different race about us.
Yeah, safety car come out this season yet?
No, not in this series.
Was there one on Friday night?
Oh, sorry. Across the board, yes, we have.
Yeah, Friday night, yeah.
Wednesday, Friday. I don't know. I would assume Thursday because it was at Long Beach.
No, on Thursday.
Oh, that just shows that Super Sprint does not work for 8.6s because we need the longer race to get the safety car on track. They can't warm the engine up otherwise.
It's quite an amazing race actually. If you got some spare time, people, while you're at work, just put on some of our races and watching this week's races. Have been so far have been fantastic.
See, Gallen leads the way. Kennedy in behind. Closest battle on track at the moment is Daniel Clutterbuck. In behind Peter Pavlovic with Brett Taylor all over the back of him. Stephen Martin and Blake Fitzpatrick making up the back portion of this battle. Couple of PER cars all on track together. You see him in the background as well as Pavlovic leading this little battle pack at the moment.
Yeah, okay, so it's my SDK is not playing nice. My SDK says it's Travis Daly in first, McVicker in second.
Maybe that's the prediction. Maybe that's the prediction at the moment, Sinker. Or maybe it's because it hasn't changed since they came into the lane.
I looked at it, I thought, well, that's a bit weird.
That's not correct.
Yeah, I was just about to say, how good's a gap figure in second place? And then I looked up at the thing, I thought, no, he's down in 10. Anyway, the space has opened up. I thought it might for this second sector of the race. The space has opened up. People are a bit more cautious and not going as Alpha Leather. Really Hall is leading a battle pack of 4 guys. You've got Van der Graan, Marty Hansen and Rick Vigor behind him. And then you've got Daniel Clutterbuck with Peter Pan and Brett Taylor behind him. And everyone else has gapped it out to about anything from 1 to 4 seconds. So this is the part of the race where if we had commercials, we'd probably go for a commercial for a little bit.
Maybe we need to line up some commercials in future, Sinker. Maybe that's the next offering on board is, we can do commercials at certain points, but...
We can put the window commercials for our sponsors on Sunday night. We might have a crack at that. There's a few things we might have a crack at.
I'll show you how I do it for vets after this race. It works pretty well actually for it.
I'll be at Warren and Brown, so we can't start early on Sunday. Earlier than 7.
Or we just have someone else commentate. Maybe Shibby can come hang out with us for one night.
Oh no. It's my favourite night of the week.
Oh,
mate.
yeah. Alright, it'd be good to get Shibby back for a one-off. What do you reckon?
Oh, definitely good to get Shibby back. He's busy getting ready and getting life ready
he's
for...
uber busy, of course. New job, having another kid. Big ups to Shibby.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Shibby.
Yeah, he's going for another life change. He's already got 2 kids with his previous partner and 1 current partner, so they're going to have 2. Maybe like a girl, then he'll have 2 boys and 2 girls.
Who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. He probably knows, but I haven't spoken to him for a week or so.
See, Sheafy wants Shibby back in the booth for a one-off. Why not? Super Sunday, enduro action around Red Bull. Let's get it sorted. That way we can start a bit earlier, still Sinker, and you can still head off to MotorX.
It's not a call I'm going to make tonight because got preparations to do. We're going to make sure our season are going to do it something early stuff up 4 o'clock or anything like that. That'd be too out of left field. Too many people will miss out.
No, not 4, but maybe like 5 or something like that. Nice little afternoon. Well, we'll wait and see. We'll see what gets called. Billy Moldo's gone off track. He's now dropped out behind Rick Viger.
Yeah, I just saw that.
He's run it wide down at turn 4. Oh, so there's a Marty Hansen's in the battle with him. All right, he's just tried to keep it out nice and wide. Viger's then tucked up the inside of Hansen, and he's copped both of them.
Yeah, I think Marty just tapped Mole a little bit, and he sort of backed off to let Mole reconnect his tyres back going, and Viger took advantage of it and went on the inside and went through it.
He did well to make it up there. Just keep on trucking along.
Kennedy and they're all pacing at the same pace at the moment. They're all sitting, all the top 4 are all sitting in 135, 31 sixes and thereabouts over the last few laps. So it's interesting to see how they're going to go for this next sector. We saw the pitting of, say, Davis was the late ones. Blake finished after 23, so 21 laps. Look, what are you thinking? Just after the hour mark?
It'll be around about the hour. I think Fitzy can go to an hour and 10 minutes and have a shorter stop. These boys will be coming in around about the 50-minute mark. Everyone else, I'd say, around about an hour. So it's going to be tight, but that's around about when it's going to be. And that final 10 minutes is then going to be the play to get home. That's going to be the moment where everyone tightens back up, the stops all come into play, and we'll see who's had the benefit of this strategy compared to others and who's lost out.
Can we see who's taking tyres with the new data? No, we can't.
No, we can't. No, it just says what compound. It doesn't say if they've taken tyres.
Well, I guess the question's going to be as well is for them to go all the way through, they're going to have to try to stretch it to the 40 minutes is going to be a stretch on a full tank.
Yeah, they came in lap 10. They've got to be able to get half an hour out of the car to get home.
Yeah.
If not 35 minutes like Blake Fitzpatrick, but that would have been uber fuel save. Like that would have been massive fuel save. So
even on fresher tyres, that's not going to help you.
No.
They need to make the stint into the 30-minute mark to make it work for them.
Yeah, they would have gone 15. So they've got to get to 55 minutes just to get home.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Let's see how their fuel saving strategy is going, because Kennedy's doing a 131.4, so he's maintaining pace with the guys around him, with Gallen and Burridge are all around the same pace. Short shifting early.
Yeah, he's not running the... Yeah, he's clutching a little bit there. Oh, Rusty, it really depends on the driver and how much time you can actually carry through corners. Fuel saving realistically is like, if you can fuel save but carry your pace through corners, you're not really actually going to drop off too much lap time. The people who lose lap time, the people who try and fuel save into and out of corners. So if you're trying to short shift on the exit of a corner, or you're braking slightly earlier to try and save fuel, that's where you're going to lose the lap time. So these guys are smart.
Really smart. Come watch Sunday night. You'll see some really high quality fuel savers. Darren Long, Blake Delaney, those boys can really fuel save like the best of them. And they will go like, for instance, like coming here, they'll be clutching in and carrying the pace as much as they can all the way through this section.
Yeah, they'll try and carry momentum as best they can. That's where you gain on fuel saving, because you can keep the lap pace. Because whilst you're coming through the corner, instead of dropping gears and slowing up the car, you're just holding in the clutch and you're just using your brake to do it for you. So it's more reliant on your brake pedal than your engine braking, but it does help with your fuel because you're using less revs. Now, fuel saving, the more throttle input you're using, the more fuel you're using. That's how iRacing have calculated it. So people who clutch it into corners, they're on 0 throttle input, so they're not actually using that much fuel. As basic as that sounds.
It's on Viger, mate. Hands on Viger, 110 on the back of him there. He's ready to pounce. He's coming on the inside. He's opened the door. Viger's gone wide, carrying momentum and pace. Hanson's doing a great job there. He's got the inside line. Oh, Billy Mole's trying to have a wiggle. That's
trying to get in on it too.
He got out of that corner, even though he took a shallow curve. That was great movement.
Mole wants it up the inside of Viger, backs out at the last minute. Wasn't willing to commit through one. As Viger now remains P9 on the road, 3 spots down from where he started this race. But he'll need the shorter stop to get home, so he's still in good form. Hanson, though, he's got the question marks over his head on what his fuel strategy will play. Cowie, though, just outside the top 10 still, so he's holding position quite well. Just needs to try and catch up to these guys, put some pressure on Mole, and hopefully take advantage of an incident that could happen between the 3 of them.
I think Cowie's running his own race at the moment, mate. He is just focusing on his strats, his deltas, making sure his fuel's in the right place. We don't know who's taken tyres, who hasn't taken tyres. My prediction is that Cowie hasn't taken tyres. He's going to try to get as long a stint as possible out of the second stint, get on there with fresh tyres. I think Jamie Davis has done the same thing as well. I think he's, looking at his pace at the moment. Oh, here we go. Gallen's in. No, Kennedy's in. Burridge is in. Crosby's in. Let's see where they drop out to and how far down the pack they're going to be going. It's just around the 9th, 10th, 11th position, somewhere around there.
So we called it. It was roughly about 50 minutes they need to come in.
Yep.
And they've gone half an hour on that stint. What that means now is, though, they're going to need to go about 32 or so minutes to get home. And if this race goes an extra lap, then they could be stuffed.
Yeah, it all depends on Gallen's pace, whether he'll take it that way. But the pace out there at the moment, Gallen is the slower one out of the top 4. He is 2/10 a lap going slower than what Jamie Davis and Matty Parker is. Matty Parker's done well. Van der Kran hasn't done his second pit yet. He pitted in lap 13, so he'll be due for a pit in the next 2 or 3 laps. He's up 22 places as well at the moment.
What I think Gallen needs to do now is he needs to come in with the next couple of laps, get some fresh tyres on the car, and try and cut out the undercut as best he can.
Yeah, Stephen Banks says, I'm pretty sure that Gallen hasn't taken new tyres yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he would have.
Yeah.
I reckon he's waiting for that last stop. And I think now is better time than ever. Wait till you get to the 50-minute mark. Then you know you've got half an hour to home. Top the car up, get the fresh tyres on, push on, and help keep the battle with Kennedy, Burridge, and Crosby on. Because he doesn't want to give up too much time to them.
These top 3 at the moment, the question is, do you go early for the undercut?
Viger's in for the undercut.
Once we hit the 30-minute mark, you're pretty much safe.
Cowan and Viger are in. Crow's just got past Rushworth. We know Crow had the pit lane penalty, so did Daly. These guys
Cowan's
down the
in.
order a little bit. Cowie is in. Martin's in too.
Yep.
He's in. I would predict that Gallen's not going to be too far away from the lane either, by the looks of things.
Will Jamie Davis follow him in?
That's the question. He's 6.5 seconds off the back of him at the moment. We'll see one of the other SRW team drivers in behind Gallen at the moment, just trying to save some fuel in the draft. But yeah, I think Cowie, not Cowie. I think Gallen, he needs to try and cut off this undercut. If he doesn't come in now, he's got to go as long as possible.
Thing is, Jamie's taken more fuel. Looks like he must have taken less fuel because Jamie's gone a full 8 seconds longer in the pit.
He might have needed to take less fuel. He might have saved, so then he could take less in the stop. As Daly comes out, he's going to come out a lap down. And what could have been for Travis Daly?
Matty Parker's got the same pit strategy as Jamie Davis. Said Matty? Yeah, exactly the same. Same pit time and everything.
As Hansen comes in. So get your predictions in, guys. We're coming up to the last stint of this race, the sprint home for the SRW Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Series here on Tuesday nights. Can Gallen hold on, or will one of the M1 boys get past him, or possibly Jamie Davis or Matty Parker? Big thank you goes out, obviously, to all of our series sponsors, including our title sponsors, Warren & Brown Tools and Shannon's Insurance, as well as our other sponsors, Motorsport Australia, Shunt Scenery, Grim Industries, NeuroPower, and DSL Rail Services. If you haven't already, hit the like button, the subscribe, and the bell icon as well, so you are notified anytime we go racing here on SRW TV, including the Wednesday night Shannon's Insurance Formula 3 Nationals, the Thursday night Shannon's Insurance GR86 Nationals, Friday night IMSA Shadow Series brought to you by Warren & Brown Tools, and rounding out our racing week, a Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Super Sunday / Monday during Scops rounds. We always start our week here on Tuesdays with the Supercars. We end our week with the Supercars as well.
The Sunday. Just the way I love it.
Yeah, Super Sunday / Super Monday.
And while we're at it, I'd like to thank all the viewers for coming out and joining us tonight for a big enduro. It's not something you can sit there and watch all night. We really appreciate you guys sticking around and having a chin wag with us and chatting in the live chat. It keeps us pumped up and motivated to watch the race. As we say that, Chris Burridge has just popped out the fastest lap of the night with a 1:37.62.
Yeah, he's really pushing now. Rusty saying 30 minutes to go. You can probably get the best out of your good set. Yeah, don't want to leave any rubber unused. Well, there's that. But this track also burns rubber very, very quickly. It's not as bad as Silverstone, but it will burn tyres because of the undulation and the change of direction and the change of as I said, like level. I'm losing all the words now in my head. Because of the up and down and the roller coaster ride that is this circuit, it really burns up the tyres quite a fair bit, and especially under those hard braking zones, as any Grand Prix circuit does. It just chews up the rubber.
We're going to see a few more pits come in now. Vanderkran's due, so is Brett Taylor. He'll be due for a pit shortly because they both went in 13 and 14. It's been a couple of laps now since the M1 boys pitted, and my prediction was right. 10, 11, 12 they came out. So it should be soon. They pitted at lap 21. We're at lap
Gallen's in.
Sorry, 32. Here he is. Gallen's in. Is Jamie going to put the foot down here? The last lap.
Oh, he's got traffic. He's got major traffic to deal with. This is going to hurt Davis.
Blue flags, get out of the way.
It's not going to hurt. They don't have to move over though, Steve. They don't have to move over. If he goes for the move, they just have to let him have it. But there's nothing saying that they have to just pull over and let him go.
Of course they don't. They don't. They just got to get. They've just got to give him the track.
They just, if he goes for the move in the corner, they can't defend. They just have to let him have it. But there's nothing saying that they have to pull over and let him have it as Gallen comes out. And Gallen is going to gain massive on Stephen Kennedy, who's been stuck behind his teammates who have done an incredible job to be the iron curtain between John Gallen, the provisional leader of this race, and Stephen Kennedy, who's been fast approaching. Put your hands up, Blake Fitzpatrick and Peter Pavlovic. You've done your job to absolute perfection over that stint.
Nice work, lads. Nice work. Still a long way to go. Looks like Matty Park is gonna follow Jamie Davis to the same strat that they're going through. Let's have a look. They're due. Oh, they must have taken more fuel. Because they all pitted at the same time last lap. Last strategy. 31, 21. Peter Paz with a 21. Gallons on the 35. Oh, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be all eyes on how Gallen can get these tyres up to temp and how quick he can get. His last lap before he went in was 134. He's 3 seconds slower. Clutterbuck is in and he's going to be getting out of his way. He's got clean air already anyway. But Parker's got 4 seconds off Jamie, so Jamie's patched him a little bit. There's some battles going to start forming again like we had in the first stint, so it's going to be very interesting. The gap is 37 seconds from John Gallen to Jamie Davis. With Jamie going in so late, his pit run is going to be a lot shorter. It could be a fight around the final corner.
I'll tell you what, Sinker, if we stay how we are, we're only going to have to talk to 3 people tonight.
Yeah, true. You know what? Here's one for you. Gallen's pit was a 28.7, and Jamie Davis's first pit was a 29.9. Gallen's first pit was only about a 17, so it was about 11 seconds shorter. Maybe Jamie's going to get 11 seconds shorter because he's got less time, less fuel required. It's going to be real close, mate. It's going to be real close.
He's still going to need the same amount as Gallen does to get home. I mean, Gallen's come in early. He hasn't actually come in at the end of his life. He hasn't come in at the end of the fuel tank. So the amount that they need is still the same. Gallen's was 28 seconds because he put tyres on the car. That's why it's so long. He's put tyres on. He's also done fuel. He only needed enough fuel to get the last, probably 20 odd minutes, because he went 32 minutes in the initial stint. That then would have pushed him out to an hour and 5 into the race.
There was getting saved by a lot by just going in 3 laps later. So
that's
depending
right.
on how much later Jamie Davis goes in is depending on how much time he's going to save.
Well, he's losing time at the moment to Gallen, who's just done a 31.5. His fastest.
Gallen's
30.9.
30.94. So there's 5 tenths in it. There's a 36-second gap between the top 3. So it's going to be interesting. They're going to come out pretty close to each other.
Oh, they will. Rusty, one thing I'll say to you is don't drive them like a GT car. You cannot drive a supercar like a GT car. You can drive a GT car like a supercar. Can't drive a supercar like a GT car. You have to drive it in a certain way. You got to learn how to blip. Learn how to, because these things don't have traction control and they've got hardly any downforce. Parker's in. Davis has stayed out. So Parker's in. So Gallen's going to come round.
Last lap for Matty Parker was a 131.2. It's just changed then, 134.5. That's obviously because he's slowing down to enter the pits. Let's see what Jamie Davis does. There's our boy Gallen.
He's actually been gaining on Kennedy in behind. So Gallen's going to come past Matty Parker, who's just exiting now.
He's coming out.
Nah, Gallen's going to get him. He's got him. But Parker is actually going to also get Kennedy. So this is very interesting now. So not only did the team play by the Pacific Esports Racing boys help John Gallen, it's also helped Matty Parker into provisional P2 of this race. Exceptional job by those boys. That's great teamwork.
Very good. He's just got to be careful with his tyres, get him up to temp, don't overcook him, keep going. So at the moment, Gallen is 35 seconds, still the same amount of time on Jamie Davis. He's lapping about 4 tenths to 5 tenths, a little bit quicker. Jamie is in. The gap is 35.9 seconds. So just about 36 seconds. I'm predicting that Jamie is going to come out just in front, just like we saw Parker getting passed by Gallen.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see. Parker's coming round. Davis still is not in the pit box. Now he is. So he's actually coming to the pit box at the same time that Parker did to Gallen. Gallen now comes around the final couple of corners. Is he going to take the lead, or is it going to go to Jamie Davis? Will history be made, or will Davis take another win in the Tuesday series? Davis is out.
10 seconds difference, like I told you, is going to be a 10-second difference.
So that means that that Davis didn't take tyres on the first. He took tyres on the first stop, not the second.
Possibly.
So what this means is, it means that Davis is going to have much older tyres, but he's got a 2.5 second gap back to Gallen.
Nice work. Either way, great work by all three front runners there. The way the tactics have changed just slightly has made a mega difference. Lighter car, so a little bit less stress on the car. So this is going to be interesting all the way through. We've got a sprint now, folks. We have got an 18-minute sprint all the way to the end, with most of the action going to be between. Well, Gallen's got 2.6 seconds off Jamie. Matty Parker's got 2.5. Kennedy's got 2.2. The only one that's really putting pressure on the moment is Barrage on his teammate behind him. He's not going to put pressure. He's just going to coast through it. Everyone is gapped out like they did at the beginning of the first pit stop run.
We know that Davis struggled in qualifying to find the pace in the car. We know Gallen has the pace, and he's on much fresher tyres than Jamie Davis. It's going to be a full-on sprint, a 1v1 if Parker doesn't get on the back of Gallen to the end of this race. 17.5 minutes to go of the first Enduro of Season 2 of 2024. Davis leads to Gallen to Parker. That's the top three. Kennedy, Burridge make up the 5. Crosby, Viger, Mole, Cow and Vanderkraan make up the 10.
Parker is lapping just under 10 slower than Gallen at the moment. Jamie hasn't done his full lap. He's still on his out lap. So we'll see how that.
He has done his full lap. He's on his regular lap now.
No, his last lap time hasn't gone over yet.
Oh, yeah. As in his first quick lap is what you mean.
Yeah, correct.
As Robert Crow comes into the lane, what could have been for him here tonight if he didn't cop that stop-go penalty for crossing the pit bay line. He's now going to trundle back down, likely in behind Travis Daly, if not in behind Scotty Weston, as Davis leads at the moment. 2.5 seconds is the gap back to Gallen. It's going to be a straight run home. If Gallen can get on the back of him, it could be a miraculous win. But if Davis can hold this out, it'll be regular proceedings, and Davis will take the lead of the championship off the back of it.
Looking very settled, very smooth. Okay, so oh my God, the difference is 1/10,000th. That's how close it is. That was crazy, absolutely crazy. And they're continuing. They're doing 1/1000th is much the gap between them. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go through. If they're going to keep going like that, it's going to be an amazing fight all the way through.
Well, Pav wants the run down through turn 9. Get your cream, get your strawberries, get your passion fruit, because the Pavlova's gotten the move done over Clutterbuck into P12. And there was no ifs, buts or coconuts about it. He got it done in the end, and that was a great move from Pavlovic.
Cowie's doing well. He's into 9th place now. He's chasing down Billy Mole up 4th place. Our biggest mover of the night is Peter Vanderkraan, up 16 places. He's having a very, very good run. And his pace is good too. Like his last lap is a 1:31.2. It's equivalent to Jamie's last lap. So it's pretty good. Gallen has got it down under 2 seconds now, even though Jamie got in by 2/10 in the last lap. So no, he's back over 2 seconds. So Jamie's maintaining that 2 second gap all the way through. Matty Parker is slowly catching Gallen though. Matty Parker's got it down to 1:95.
Well, Gallen's just gone faster that last lap than both Davis and Parker, a 1:31.1 dead for Gallen, a 1:31.7 for Davis. So don't be surprised if he gets this thing into tow range in the next 2 laps. And it's going to be all on.
The split is going up and down. One's winning by 2 tenths, and another one's by 2 tenths. They're swapping each lap at the moment, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. And Matty Parker's just sitting there, waiting like a vulture to see what happens.
Which one is the hunted gazelle? Is it Gallen or is it Davis? Or is it both?
Got a nice little battle pack happening behind Steve Martin. He's got himself Sean Van Melion and Brett Taylor chasing him down. Very, very close across those cars. Looking pretty good, that I like that livery of who are we on with? We're off.
There's Vandermeulen there. And there's Martin. I was saying before, it's a nice green with Vandermeulen.
Yeah, but livery is looking pretty good.
The old mate and son's car with the chubby buns on the bonnet. If you're after a nice burger and you're in the Sydney area, check out Chubby Buns. Many locations. I'm yet to try it myself because they don't have any locations in Vic. I've tried to talk to Jim Caparotis to do it. He hasn't done it yet. So I'm still waiting for that grand opening in Victoria. But Vandermeulen on the back of him now.
He's got it down to 1-1 at the moment. So he's slowly creeping up on the back of onto Jaggy.
He is in tow range.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure.
The
tow range, what, under a second?
It'll be about a second. Will be the tow range.
Yeah, he's
And
just out of time at the moment.
those fresher tyres are doing him dividends at the moment over Jamie Davis.
Yeah.
So this will be a learning curve for Jamie now, going forward with the one tyre stop, with the one tyre change. Go as long as possible on that initial stint.
Don't count the chickens just yet.
No, I know, but his tyres are a lot newer. Let's remember that. So
let's just get out of the way there.
So I mean,
Park there as well. He's getting into the action too. He's now under 2 seconds on the back of Gallen too. So he's sitting with a 181.
So let's think about the current scenario. Davis had a shorter pit stop, but he didn't take tyres. His tyres are now over half an hour old. Gallen took tyres, and his tyres are only 13 minutes old. So they're coming into their sweet spot. So his tyres are about to start to sing like absolute goddesses, whilst Jamie Davis's are screaming in agony right now after half an hour of running on one set of tyres. It's going to be Davis versus Gallen. Parker's hanging outside the ring, ready to get in on the action too. And we're going to have 11 minutes of running and a battle for the win of this race between a Pro-Am and an amateur in Jamie Davis and John Gallen. It's going to be hell for leather, all on. And it's right here on SRW TV.
Parker was actually the fastest of the three at the moment. That last one was 10 faster than Gallen, so he's starting to catch up on the Gallen as well now. He's got it down to 1.9.
Gallen's tyres are a tell.
Celine
Davis'
Dion,
tyres
come
are
on.
Celine Dion. Oh.
Oh, God.
I hope, though, Gallen's tyres are not rolling in the deep. Hopefully they are a bit better than that. As we come through turn 6 into 7. Gallen now, gap is out to 0.6 of a second. He is slowly encroaching onto the back of Jamie Davis. Team SRW Motorsports versus Pacific Esports Racing. It's going to be 10 minutes to go, and it's going to be all on for John Gallen versus Jamie Davis in the battle for the first win of the Enduros of Season 2 of 2024. Gap's now out to half a second. He's got the tow.
Gallen's is flying.
He is flying like a beautiful gazelle. Chasing down. Well, I don't want to say it's a bird that's been hit by a car, but the tyres are struggling just as badly.
You just lost 3 viewers in that comment.
I know. Gallen right up on the back of him, though. Gap now out to under half a second, so it's only a matter of time before Gallen can get this move done. He may wait until his next opportunity at turn 3, or he may go for it earlier than that. It'll be ultra pressure on the back of Davis from the 350 Commodore of Pacific Esports Racing and John Gallen. This is why we go racing. This is why we broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, for moments like this. A battle on our hands for the lead of a race after an hour and 11 minutes of running. The gaps may have spread for a period there between the stints, but they all come together in the end and create absolute magic for us in the dying embers of proceedings.
This is going to be nail-biting all the way through. Coward's just passed Billy Mole, made himself up into 8th place.
I can say that, they're now swapping and changing positions a bit further back. Lap 47. With only 8.5 minutes to go. It is an absolute nail biter. Two sides of fans in the chat.
It's got me gobsmacked. I can't talk anymore.
Gallen and Davis.
Let me go.
This is a main event level battle. As the skies begin to clear and the fog moves away, we get a clearer view of. It couldn't have come at a better time, could it? For
Actually,
the battle
out of
to
this,
the
out
end.
of the three of them, Matty Parker is still the fastest. He's slowly catching. He's down to 1.6. If he gets into this, what Jamie needs to do is back up Gallen onto Parker, so Parker gets in on the action and gets him in the draft, and then all of a sudden the pressure will ease off a little bit.
Gallen is all over him. Bakary started the race in P2, but trying to get up into P1. Yet to take a win in SRW, made his debut this season. He's been in vets for a fair while, yet to take a win over in that land as well as we come through turn 9. And the battle is still on. We're just waiting though for one of them to bite, one of them to put a crack in the window. As we start lap 48, 7 minutes to go. 7 minutes for Gallen to get this done.
He's just keeping ahead enough to not give him the overlap. He's just been able to keep ahead. I'm not sure for how long, but he's holding that 3 to 4 tenths across most sections, and that's just enough to keep Gallen from getting him under brakes. This is the closest Gallen's been so far. He's 2 tenths. If he gets real close to him at the bottom of this hill, he might be on for a move on the inside or the outside.
Cowie's in for another stop.
Oh no.
I know. I reckon I know why. He's gone off track. We're not going to look at the replay just yet because we want to keep an eye on this battle. But I reckon he's had to go in and fix the car.
Well, Gallen's had a bit of a slide or something because he's dropped down to 6 tenths. Jamie's doing well. There's 6 minutes left, just under, with our current laps of 1:30. 4 laps to go.
Rich Noble had a crash. I was just seeing if he was stopped. He wasn't. He was still going. I think he may have had a bit of a spin up in turn 3, but back to the battle at hand.
Come on, Jamie. All you got to do is just hold it out, mate. Keep going. He's got it back out to 6 tenths again. Keep the pressure on.
Jamie Davis is trying his best to survive. He's got 5.5 minutes to do it. Gallen has got 5.5 minutes to go. Maximum assault, maximum pressure.
Parker's
try and go for it.
Parker's just out of the toe at the moment. He's just about to start putting pressure on Gallen as well. He's down to 1.2. By the time they get down the bottom of this hill, Parker will be in the toe.
Up into turn 3. Gallen just trying to get close enough to put the pressure on. Stephen Banks saying, I don't think Gal will risk too much. Having P1 in the bag for Am would be just a bit of mayonnaise if he wins overall. Bigger picture. It would be, but he's right on the back of Davis, and I don't think Gallen's going to give up the opportunity for an overall win if he can't take it.
Oh, no man would, mate. It's a fight all the way through. He seems to be getting close to him under brakes down that hill, but then Jamie comes away across this next two corners. That's where Jamie sort of opens it up a little bit. So it looks like that's where he's got a little bit more confidence in going. Let's see if he does it again.
As they come through the final couple of corners.
There, Jamie's used up as much as he can. Has he opened it up a bit more? No, he hasn't. Gallen's right on the back of him, so Gallen has maintained the gap this time round. He's finally
he wants it. Backs out though.
He's trying to give Jamie a bit of a high. How you going? Here I come. I reckon we're down.
Oh, he's got the run.
Oh, here we go.
He's got the run out of turn one. He bait and switched him, made him brake late, and he's absolutely done him dirty up towards turn three. Gallen's going to have the run on the outside line.
He's taking him wide. He's got the run back in. Is he going to be able to keep momentum coming through? These next two corners are going to be lethal. Will Jamie be able to keep up with him down the hill? Will he be able to push him out wide? Or will Gallen get the overlap done? Side by side still as they come to the bottom of the left, right hand.
Look at how close they are right now.
Excellent driving by both drivers. Great driving by Jamie Davis by Team Motorsport.
By Team Motorsport. Remember your team name. Try to hold yourself together, Sinker, and try not to be too biased here, as Gallen's trying to put all sorts of pressure on him at the moment.
There's no bias here at all, mate. It's a fantastic race, but I'm going for my driver. Who wouldn't?
Spoken like a true Mark Scaife there, Sinker, as they come up through turn 9 and 10. And they keep the pressure on at the moment. Gallen wants to try and maximise the run up through 1. There's only a couple of minutes left. I reckon there's only enough for 2 more laps of this race. 2 more laps for John Gallen to get this done.
Get out there. Yes! Did I see the white flag?
It's not white flag, mate. We're not close enough to the end.
Oh, no.
Stop trying to force things. We're not near the white flag.
Parker's there and 6/10 away, so it's hopefully if he can get a bit closer, we're going to get the pressure off Jamie. But this is the closest he's been. There's 18 overlap again. Davis has got the outside run. Oh, a little bit of wiggle there from
I don't know if Parker should have gone for that then up the inside. That's hurt him. That's now going to put him under pressure from Parker.
Because Parker's right on the back of him, sniffing like crazy. That's the first time I've seen Gallen's car wiggle coming out of the corner that time.
Yeah.
Maybe what he's finding is cooked his tyres a bit early.
We know that Parker will go for it. It's whether John is going to as well. We're going to have
both down at 5/10 each, so there's a 5/10 gap between all 3 cars here now. I think this will be the white flag. This is going to be an epic fight from Gallen. What a drive from Gallen. The amateur to come all the way up the top and do what he does tonight has been sensational. Either way, he gets a pony. But Jamie, oh mate, what a drive as well. So if he holds him back, and he does, that's going to be an epic effort.
1 lap to go around the Red Bull ring.
Here we go, people. Down to 3 cars after an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes of racing. It comes down to 4/10 between Jamie Davis and Gallen, and then another 4/10 to Parker behind him. Clean racing, some of the best racing we've seen for a while. The way these boys went around these S's the last 2 laps ago was sensational. Let's see how they come out of this corner again. Gallen's a little bit more steady at that time. There wasn't as much wiggle, but Parker is there right in the back putting the pressure on. If he makes the move left or right, he's got to make sure he does it right, because it's going to give Parker the option of tucking in. He's got to be really careful.
Gallen's trying to go for the switch back on Jamie Davis. He's not quite close enough to get it done. That may have been his final opportunity. We know that Gallen's faster through 6 and 7, but it's whether he can maximise on it. Davis may have survived. He may have this in the bag, but it's not over until the fat lady sings. Through turn 7 they come, up through 8. Gallen's got a run. He can't quite get there though as Davis shuts the door. As they come up towards turn 9, Parker wants it on Gallen. He's not quite close enough. Through the second to last corner they come. After an incredible drive, after an incredible race, Jamie Davis is going to survive on nothing but dead tyres. Across the line they come. Davis takes P1, Gallen P2, Parker P3.
I'd just like to say that you all had him done, and he didn't get done. Well done. Tell you what, Gallen, what a race, mate. He put on a show for us tonight, all the way through, to race and come back like that. And the two strategies, different strategies, all it was tyre selection in the end. That was the difference. And to fight all the way through, the way they fought through those S's was absolutely spectacular. Great driving by all three of these boys. Matty Parker, what a surprise as well. I knew he was fast, but to see him come up in third, sensational effort. Gallen's taken the podium for second, but also the first place for the amateurs, followed by Blake Fitzpatrick in second and Brett Taylor in third, mate. So Brett Taylor got his podium again. So fantastic work there.
Unfortunately, though, he won't be chatting to us tonight. It'll only be the top three, the two Pro-Ams and the amateur on the podium here tonight. One crash we missed towards the end of the race. I saw the car in the background, heavy damage. Unfortunately, it was my car, and I'll be fitting the bill to fix this. It was Robert Crow. He had heavy damage at the exit of turn 1. What's he done? So he went out way wide. Oh, no, that was the off track that he had. And then I think he actually copped another one into turn 1. So what's happened? Oh, he caught the sausage curb, and that's why he had the heavy damage. Yep.
He's hit that curb real hard. He skipped over the hot dog, mate. He skipped over it.
So that's not the. That's not the.
That should have been a bit of sauce to put in the roll, mate. Don't drive over it like that.
No, I know. But our provisional race results for tonight's event, it will be Jamie Davis out of P1 for Team SRW Motorsports ahead of Pacific Esports Racing's John Gallen, who also finished P1 for the amateurs, P2 on the road. Matty Parker then P3 for Nova Sim Sports. Then 3M1 racing drivers in behind in Stephen Kennedy, Chris Burridge and Darren Crosby. Rick Viger and Peter Vanderground, the two Angry Birds boys, will finish in alongside each other. Billy Mole, Peter Pavlovic, the Pavlova will make up the top 10 ahead of Daniel Clutterbuck. Blake Fitzpatrick in P2 for the amateurs, P12 on the road. Travis Daly. Brett Taylor, who came home P3 on the road for the amateurs, P14 in the official standings. Sean Vandermeulen in P4 in the AMs, P15 on the road. Stephen Martin, Marty Hanson make up our top 17 cars on the road. As we then move down to Scotty Weston, Craig Healy, Andrew Rushworth, who make up the top 20. Then Andrew Cowan, Robert Crow, Josh King, Mitch Noble, Brad Anderson make up our final runners. Dylan Gray unfortunately dropped out early on and went 39 laps down. Our heart goes out to Dylan because that was his race to win. But what a run home it was for the top three, who we will get the most esteemed privilege of being able to talk to when they hop into the green room here tonight.
Mate, what an epic race. I don't think Tyson realised that, Greg Barber realised that John Gallen is an amateur. So he's called an extra driver into the briefing room. So it'll be Jamie Davis, John Gallen, Matty Parker for our podium. And for the AMs, it's John Gallen, Blake Fitzpatrick, and Brett Taylor. Yeah.
So we'll be talking to our top three of the race, Davis, Gallen, and Parker. And then, unfortunately, it means that Kennedy misses out because he didn't get on the podium. So
No.
we only get to talk to three drivers instead of four tonight.
Yeah. So who are we going to speak to?
We might as well bring in Mr. Matty Parker, P3 on the road, P2 in class. Are you going to drag him in, or am I going to do it, Sinker? Oh, there we go.
Mr. Matty Parker, how you doing, mate?
How are you, lads? That was
Good, mate. You had the gold ticket tonight for watching the fight in front of you.
Yeah, look, mate, I just ended up running out of bloody tyres at the end of it. I just couldn't get the drive off. The laps are consistent, but yeah, those boys were battling it out. I thought I'll have a go, and then it's like, I'll sit back and let these boys battle it out, and I might get a top one here.
you were hoping side by side down the hill through the S's. There was going to be a bit of contact with you. Just go past and go, catch it, guys.
Mate, whatever happened.
It was, but the boys drove clean, they drove good, and I just couldn't catch them, unfortunately.
Well, thanks on them, mate. The last section of the race, like the last 8 laps or so, you were about a tenth or 2 tenths faster. So you were catching them consistently all the way through. I think if you had a couple more laps, you would have been in the heat a bit more and made it a little bit more exciting. But it was great effort, mate. Strategy the way you planned it out, or did you have to go on the fly? Were you going to see what Jamie does and follow Jamie?
Well, I was sort of watching just what everyone else does. I sort of didn't even realise it was actually this long a race, to tell you the truth. And I was like, just have a look at my calculator, see what I'm doing, do a quick maths in my head, and see where we end up. And I actually didn't expect to be coming out in third after the second pit stop, but quite happy with that.
Well, excellent, mate. You got yourself a podium. You got some good points as well, because the enduro points are a little bit bigger than the standard points, so that's a good thing as well. So, are you going to be able to fit it within your schedule to come back and race every week? What's the plan?
Yeah, look, well, I'm hoping to. I might need you to have a bit of a chat to my boss and tell him I just can't work Tuesday nights. Yeah, we know you have the inside contacts.
We'll have to give Andre a bit of a tingle and say, listen, like, come on, just
Well,
these
mate.
up Mondays, will you?
Well, yeah, you better get onto him and we can team up as one of the sponsors.
So
Yeah.
actually, it's not a bad idea. So for those of you who don't know, Matty Parker is a sign installation expert, and he works for an old mate of mine I played soccer for, which was Signed On Signs. They still call Signed On?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. And we're quite busy at the moment. Andre and the rest of the crew, great crew to work with, and it's fun.
Good work. Great sign writer, great business they run. They're legends. So if you need some sign writing done, go speak to Signed On and ask for Andre and tell them Steve sent you.
100%.
Who are your sponsors? Who you got to thank to get you on track?
I got to thank Pure Wax. Those guys sort of look after us pretty well, and the guys from Nova, Toddy, Mark Duggan, two brothers, Stewie Hall, Michael Hayes. Team's just great when we get in, and we work well together and feed off each other, and seems to get things move in those sort of terms when you get together and bump heads and get ideas and things like that. So it's great.
Oh, good fun, mate. Well, congratulations on your podium on your first race back for a while, and hopefully we'll see you out on track for the rest of the season and putting up the point again.
Hopefully I can get back next week and we'll give it a chase, give it a shake, and hopefully we can get Jamie and Gal next week. So well done to you two guys, mate. He's drove an awesome race.
Yeah, they're absolute legend there for that. It was great to watch you all race, mate. Take care. See you next week, and hopefully we'll be up having a chat as well.
Beautiful. Have a good one. Thanks for everybody.
Do you want to grab Fitz and Taylor and just get them in and out?
I'm sorry, but we're going to stick to our morals and keep it that. That's the new rule now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Brett and Blake, but the rule is now we speak to P1 on the lower class and we speak to the top 3 in the race. When it lines up that the top 3 in the race contains P1 in the lower class, it rarely happens. But when it does happen, that's the ruling. So I'm sorry, but maybe we can chat to them afterwards.
Let's go. Stop flapping your gums. All right, let's get
Mr. Gallen.
Mr. Gallen.
Yeah,
mate. What an absolute cracker of an effort. I'm not sure how long you're going to last as an AM, to be honest with you, because that was an absolute pro drive, man. That was quality all the way through. Your strategy, everything like that was just sensational. How did it feel behind the wheel?
Pretty consistent. Pretty steady. Kept it nice and tidy. Tried my best. Didn't want to do what I did earlier. Hey, Hamish, and blow that engine.
Yeah, well, it was good that you didn't blow it again. Maybe a mistake going for that dive though down at turn 3. Maybe a little bit more patience and you might have been on the top step. But top step for your class, P2 on the road. You got to be still proud of that,
mate. I'm over the moon. I'm ecstatic. It was great fun. Big hats off to Jamie. He worked his pit strategy perfectly. I kind of stuffed up. I've still got 9 litres sitting in my tank, so overfueled.
no. That's
Yeah.
9 litres. That's
Yeah.
10. That's just under 9 kilos of weight that you've had to carry across those laps. Oh my god.
Yeah. Bit
Oh,
too
well.
much, but you learn, you live and learn. You continue on and enjoy it. But no, it was good.
Doesn't iRacing fill you to a lap extra or something like that for the last stint? Did you predetermine your fuel strat instead of let iRacing do it?
I hit the auto fuel and it was set to where I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But for some reason it went up. I think it was another 5 litres or something like that. I'm just like,
Oh.
well, I'll just sit it out. It's better to not. Better to have more fuel than actually run out. So
Yeah, true.
yeah,
The
and
last thing you want to do is an hour and 20 minutes of racing and then run out and splutter across the line. That sucks.
Yeah.
It just destroys everything. Mate, you had the whole live chat going. Everyone was going off their nut in this chat. If we could hear them like an audience, it would have been an absolute spectacle, mate, because you had, when you go back and watch this race, watch the live chat at the same time, you were popping up, mate. You had that many people going behind you that it was probably worth a couple of tenths every lap.
Yeah, no, I got a big support crew, which is awesome. Yeah, big hats off to them for. We have some good battles, and we learn and live and make mistakes and learn from it, and try and teach each other, make everybody go faster.
Yeah, it's excellent. It's good to
yeah.
hear, mate.
I
Well,
like
I'm glad you decided to come back and have a bit of a spin at SRW, because that was an epic race to come back on. Your schedule's going to be good for the rest of the season. You're going to be back every week.
Yeah, that's my plan. Work the Tuesday nights. Yeah, I can only race 2 nights a week, so Tuesday nights and Thursday nights. So SRW for Tuesdays and Vets for Thursday night. Great fun.
Excellent, mate. Excellent. Well, good luck for the rest of the season. Hamish, anything else you want to pop in?
Oh, mate, it's good to see that even when it's not on a replay file, you somehow have the power to direct me broadcast even on track. So
I love it. I love it.
But mate,
Good
fair
fun.
effort. Best of luck at Sonoma on Thursday, and then best of luck next week out at our next track, which we discussed earlier and now I've completely forgotten. Algarve out at Portimao. So best of luck in those 2 next outings.
Yeah, cheers. And I just wanted to say a big shout out to all my backing, the guys and the team at PR, Lake Edge Holiday Units at Burrell Lake, One Shot Pest Management at Ulladulla, Bin the Blade for Balin Foundation. A lot of stuff's going on with that lately, so dig in deep. Come on, people. Our partner W Energy Drinks. You buy a sample, use the code word Pacific. Get 10% off your purchase. Big shout out to Tim Nickel Photography and Player One Sim Gear. Couldn't do it without you fellas.
Excellent, mate. Absolute legend. Good luck for the rest of the season, and it was a fantastic show, mate. Thanks for keeping me and Hamish awake.
Yeah, cheers. No worries. Thanks, guys, and big hats off to you guys.
Cheers,
Massive
buddy.
effort. Thank you.
All right, down to the.
We've had a comment from Brett Taylor saying, "What's the trickery of only talking to the winner of AMs, Hamish Munro and Steve Sinkovic?" Well, Brett, it's how we do it now to save us on time. Obviously, we can flap gums for ages with everyone, and we know we love to chat to you. But number one, we use it to save time on the broadcast, but we also use it as motivation for you to try and get wins, Brett. You get a win.
I like talking to Brett. Hamish made this call on me today, and I'm like, I could sit here and talk all night.
It's what we did on Sunday. It's what we do for F3. What we do for 8.6 is what we do for IMSA. Although,
if he's running down the street in a nudie run,
maybe, I don't know. But I mean, IMSA's a bit different, obviously, because they're 2 separate classes of car. So the podiums, obviously, it's not like everyone's racing each other.
Maybe David's in, so we can call it a night and have a bit of fun. And thank you for having a killer race out there, mate, Mr. Taylor.
Mr. Davis, you're going to watch this back, and I hope you feel as sick as I did with Sinkovic not even trying to cover up his bias in that broadcast. But a phenomenal run from you, mate, and a fantastic effort to defend off a hard-charging John Gallen and Matty Parker in the end to come home P1 on the road.
Thank you very much. That was bloody hard.
It looked tough, mate. It looked tough. I'll tell you what, it was tough for me too back here. I wasn't that biased. I was just balancing it out because the rest of the viewers on YouTube, all the chatters were all going for Gull. And I thought, well, I've got to go for my bud, Jamie Davis. You know, he's leading Team SRW Motorsports to the top step of the podium. I might add, Hamish, where was your driver?
Well, he crashed into the wall after mistakenly crossing the pit entry line.
Jamie, I was biting fingernails and everything those last 5 laps. How were you feeling of the tyres, mate? Because at one stage I thought, oh, the way he was catching you, I thought he's going to have you here. But then I noticed his wheels started wiggling as well as he was coming up the hill to the right, the turn, the second one, and I thought, oh, this could be back onto your part of it. How did the tyres feel? Was it that bad?
Yeah, after I put the new tyres on, they didn't grip like I was hoping to. So I was just trying to drive as quick as I could, then making up mistakes going into turn 2 and letting Gallen just catch me hand over fist. So I focused on just trying to keep it straight. He's going to get to me, and then it'll become a defending game.
Yeah. So you took new tyres when?
I took me new tyres in the last stop, but yeah, they just didn't.
Last stop?
Yeah, they just didn't come on like I thought they would. I had felt like I had no front end grip, and I'll tell you what, though, I wouldn't have been upset if I lost out to Gallen. He drove a fantastic race.
Mate, it was good to see the two strategies that were slightly different. The way they worked out. You boys at the end of the day were like, a couple of tenths apart and driving like crazy after it. Such a big stint. What was it like by that stage of the race? You've done an hour and 20 minutes. How are you feeling fatigue-wise by that point? Is it like full-on sweat focus?
Well, this week I remembered to turn the heating flooring off, so I wasn't sitting there drenched in a pool of sweat. But yeah, hour and 20, you don't realise how long it is until that last 20 minutes. But it feels like it's another hour.
Yeah. Cool. Setup-wise, you happy with the way the car's sitting and handling?
The car was good on a full tank, but yeah, that last stop there, I didn't have quite the full tank, and I didn't have my bar set correctly and stuff, and yeah, I just didn't have the pace.
Yeah. Cool. Well, mate, it was an epic drive. It was nail-biting. You'll go back and watch it, and you'll think how awesome it was. It was, as far as I'm concerned, it was epic. The viewers loved it. They're still out there loving it. There's still 22 people watching, so that is awesome, mate. Congratulations on a top step, but also the most important thing is second race of the season in the top 5. Good run for the season for the championship.
Yeah, I just got to stay clean and consistent. Everyone's up their game big time this season, so I think I'm going to have to keep practicing a bit more to see if I can unlock a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, if you're not doing anything on the weekend, mate, you know where I'm going to be, don't you?
Where are you going to be?
I'm going to be at the Moto X, mate, at the showground. So it'd be good to see all you Victorian people come out there and say g'day. Mate, we'll let you go. Say, who gets you on track and all that sort of stuff? You got that list in front of you?
Yeah, I do. Thank you to Warren and Brown Tools, Shannon's, Grim Industries, NeuroPower, DSL Railway Services, all the fans that watch every week, race control, commentators. Just thank everyone.
Legend, mate. All right. Get yourself some rest, mate. Epic drive, congratulations, and hope the viewers appreciate the nice driving that yourself, Gallen, and Maddie put together for you. Congratulations, bud.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Hamish.
Thanks, mate.
All righty. Hamish, that's it for another night of racing from top to bottom. An hour and 20 minutes of. We didn't really get a break much, did we?
No, we didn't really get a break over the course of that one. It was more or less just, no safety cars, hard racing. I think we'll likely see a safety car on Sunday due to the faster pace, and drivers will be a lot more hungry to push up positions comparatively to the AMs and stuff like that. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's more or less getting a safety car relies on if we get a lap 1 safety car at turn 1 or turn 3. That'll really be the dependence on it, but we'll have to wait and see. It was a good race tonight, great battles towards the end. I hope this at least invigorated your love for this track even more, Sinker, by seeing a great battle for the lead of this race. Because it really helped solidify mine, because it was great to see that happening out on track once again. But I mean, big week of racing coming up. Obviously, as we mentioned, of course, tonight's race was was around the Red Bull Ring for the Supercars. Then tomorrow night we have got F3 action coming your way. Let me just see the calendar so I know. Out at Indy Road Course, of course. Thursday we go to Phoenix International Speedway for the Legacy Road Course for the GR86s. Friday the IMSA Shadow Series heads out to Imola. And then back here Sunday for the Red Bull Ring out at Supercars Super Sunday. It's either going to be Sunday or Monday. We will find out and confirm that later or throughout this week. It will not be the day of or the day before. It'll be well before then, won't it, Sinkovic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, ladies and
We'll
gentlemen,
see.
that will be I'll bring an end to our broadcast here tonight for the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars series. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, the subscribe, and the bell icon as well, so you are notified anytime we go racing across all 5 of our series. Big week of racing, as you mentioned. You know all the tracks. You know what series of racing. Get that bell icon on so you are notified whenever we do it, and you can catch us live here on Sim Racing World TV. Big thank you goes out to all of our series sponsors, including our title sponsors, Warren & Brown Tools and Shannon's Insurance, as well as Motorsport Australia, NeuroPower, Shunt Scenery, Grim Industries, and DSL Rail Services. I've been Hamish Munro. Alongside me has been Steve Sinkovic. We thank you for your time. We thank you for your patience. We thank you for bringing us into your homes or wherever you may be watching from here tonight, /today, /this afternoon. We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone out there. We appreciate the drivers as well and the race control. But until next time, we'll see you here on SLW TV tomorrow night for the Shannon's Insurance Formula 3 Nationals around Indy Road Course. But until then, stay safe, drive hard. But until then, bye for now.
This is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanak